Good evening and welcome to the 2023 New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association League Classic. I'm Dave Broderick along with John Lubau and Ara Kantarjian. We'll bring you live coverage of the semifinal matches from the beautiful Fairmount Country Club in Chatham, New Jersey. Live stream is brought to you by ProFlight Live. John, Ara, welcome. I think it's going to be a fun and exciting night, as every year is for the Monday night at the New Jersey Men's League Classic. And despite what everybody says, I think that everyone in the league plays to get to Monday night.
I think that's right, Dave. And I guess while we see that the players behind the logos are warming up the serves, we're getting pretty close. So let's talk a little bit about this match coming up. I've had the pleasure of playing both these teams this year. I played against Nick and Evan Saturday, and we played. Daniil and I played also against Anthony and Dan in the season. So I think you're going to have to give the advantage here to the favorites would be definitely Nick and Evan, but Dan Wright is young and getting better every year, and Anthony is old and staying good very tough.
He is Mr. Monday Night. He's probably been to more Monday nights than anyone else in NJMPTA history.
You know, I'm not going to agree with you there because they used to have the finals on Sunday morning. So, so since the era of Monday Night, I don't know who's been there. Maybe Drew, but he's definitely been in more semis and finals and won more than anybody who's probably on the premises right now.
Well, let's listen into Mike Yashimsky, our referee, chair umpire.
To my right, representing Brookside Rackets Club. On the Duke side, Anthony Cosumano. His partner on the edge, Dan Wright. To my left, representing Montclair Golf Club. Playing the Duke side, Mick Urdoya. His partner on the edge, Evan Zimmer. Urdoya Zimmer won the spin and they will receive.
All right, so Mike Yashimsky addressing the players. They're taking serves, and I think we're going to start the action in a little while. Ara, what are your thoughts on this? What are you looking for out of this match?
I'm really interested to see how Kazi's gonna handle this. I mean, he's won, what, 12 of them? 11? 12?
11. He's won
11. All right, so he's going for number 12, right?
He's going for number 12.
I'm interested to see that too. I think that I think a key part of this match, as a key part of any match, is the serving. And clearly, Nick has a great serve to both sides. Maybe the best serve in the game to the Deuce side, and he's going to be jamming the ball into Anthony's corner. And it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Anthony to do anything with the return, in the same way that I couldn't do anything on Saturday with the return against Mick. So right there, I think it's going to be a huge advantage. And then on the opposite side, when Anthony's serving, the way his serve is about as bad as mine almost. Mick's just going to be ripping those cross courts and either coming in or just keeping Anthony back. And at the same time, you've got the other two guys. Dan Wright has when he wants to hit it, he's got a very good serve, but he's been a little bit tentative the last couple of years. And Evan, who was serving pretty well the other night against us, kind of lost his serve and was just tapping it in. So we'll be able to learn a lot. So how these guys serve. It looks like that Dan Wright's going to start the match, and we'll see how it goes.
And I think there's going to be a big part of the match is to see how Cosumano and Wright can deal with the return of serves from Zimmer and Urdoya.
These guys have such great hands that they can get away with these kind of slower serves.
And you see right off the bat, Dan Wright knows the ball's coming at them hard. He's right on top of the net.
Yep.
So I guess the secret's out.
What you're going to see here, pretty much the whole match, is Dan Wright hitting the overheads to Evan. Evan every now and then is going to try and lob down the line and make Anthony go over to Mick, but they're going to do all they can to keep Mick out of the action here, and that's what we'll be seeing. I don't think Mick's only hit one ball, and that was a return.
And earlier in the year, week one, I played Zimmer, and he has offense. It's just a matter of, him not trying to play too cautiously during this match.
Well, he does have offense, but you know Anthony's a very good volleyer, and so is Dan. All right, first point.
And just to bring everyone up to speed, Casamano and Wright has made it to the semifinals by taking down Pasquale and Tajian, Burnt and Rottinger, Kier and Owens, McDonald and Samitz, and an up-and-comer Russell Bencon and Jerry Fryer, who were our number 4 seeds. And for Adoyer and Zimmer, they took down Brown and Don, Lee and Massengill, Kua,
40 low.
and Koretsky, Davis Rosenau, and
Right.
the man in the booth, John Lubau and
Right.
Daniil Tarantinov.
So you can see what Dan's doing on his serve here. He's hitting a soft serve and trying to get as quickly as he can up to net to get the volley. So we'll see how it goes here with Mick ripping it at him. Anthony, good volley.
And just to let everyone know out there also, we do have on the other court, the other semifinal between Chris Humphreys and Mike Stulak, our number 1 seeds, playing at a Short Hills Club, the defending champions, against Clay Bibby and James Glenn from Park Lakes. So we will try to keep you updated with that score as well.
Wow. So from 40 love to deuce, and a couple of bad mistakes, a spinner by Dan and a missed volley by Anthony. There's the Mick return on a soft serve. He's going right between the two of them.
Yeah, he hasn't hit many cross-court returns. A lot of them are through the middle, trying to get him to guess who's going to take it. Anthony's done a good job of taking them, just he's missed the last couple there. Again, we're in Chatham, New Jersey, the beautiful Fairmount Country Club. The crowd is starting to come in.
Team, they're going to Zimmer. They need the first set, 1 low.
And just like that, Adoy and Zimmer come up with a break after being down love 40.
Yeah, that's a big boost. You felt like you needed to see those guys, Dan and Anthony, get off to a good start, and that's a tough way to go down.
And we talked about it, that we all felt that it was going to come down to how Casamano and Wright were going to be able to handle when they were serving.
And there you go. It looks like Anthony's going to be trying to time that return. It's tough to do at the start when you haven't seen it for a little while, but he'll probably improve at it. And same thing. It'll be interesting to see if Mick and Evan try and switch here, or they're just going to let Evan play out of that corner. Nope.
You know, I don't know if they're in a rush to switch, just because with Zimmer on the deuce side, you're going to have Anthony hitting a lot of overheads to him. And Anthony has a good overhead, but there's not as much pressure with spins and variation as you get from Wright.
That's a bad play right there by Anthony. He
Crabtree!
had an easy return and lobbed it long.
Team, we're doing it, Zimmer. They need the first set, 2 games to love.
All right, now it's going to be tough here to see Anthony. Things are going downhill quickly. It's you don't want to say the set's over, but Anthony's serving, and I expect Mick to really crush these returns.
And I think he, right there from the fault, he knows that they have to put, he's got to hit good serves.
Go!
All right, here we go, Anthony again. We'll see if he can. What happens with Mick here on return? Good poach by Dan. I think he's going to be doing a lot of that, trying to cut these off.
And I think even though Anthony Casamano would be hitting it to Mick's forehand, I still think he's got to go to the middle of the court so Wright can help him on that first volley.
I think Mick and Evan are going to try to keep it away from Dan's backhand, right?
And Anthony's backhand. They're just going to play the ball down the middle the whole time. That's the easy play.
Yep.
And if that's a strategy, Casamano and Wright can't lob long. They can't miss lobs
They can't lob
on
long.
balls that are easy. I don't want to say easy, but not difficult balls. They don't want to.
30 all.
No, they can't lob long. You know, when when Daniil and I played Casamano and Wright, we we just tried to either get into the side screen definitely or avoid the backhands.
40-30.
All right, good volley there. Need to get on the board here. Very big point for Casamano. Good serve.
And I think as good as return Adoya has, I don't really think Zimmer could get on top, move in like he did there, because Dan Wright gets on the top of the net quicker than anyone,
Yeah.
or as quick as anyone.
Here we go.
That's too bad. We'll see if Dan cuts this off, but I think at some point Mick's going to have to go down the line.
Right, to keep him there.
So it's clear that Mick's not trying to do much with his overheads, just put it where they can't drive it and wait for them to make a mistake or hit a bad shot.
Advantage, Casamano right.
Got a little too excited there.
Right, he knew it was coming. He played it. He just got a little overzealous.
Swung too hard. All right, so they're on the board. We've got a match. Nice, they broke the seal.
And I think that was
now
a big
they're
game,
leaving.
like you said, to kind of slow it down. You didn't want to let Adoya and Zimmer take off.
And so when they come back, Evan will be serving, and we'll see what serve he has. He was really hitting it on Saturday night. He was hitting good hard serves, and I was having no problem taking him off the screen. And then he started hitting he kind of lost his mojo on it and started just dinking him in, and then I started missing him because it was too soft. But we'll see how he's. I'm sure that's something that gets in your mind. We've all had. I'm sure everybody here, maybe not Mick, has had serving issues, or everybody at home has had serving issues at one point in their life. So it's a big stage for Evan the Ginger, and we'll see what he can do.
Also, John and Ara, while we have a break in the action here, we just want to, New Jersey Men's League would love to thank their sponsors, PPAC Private Wealth Management, Xenon, the official ball of the New Jersey Men's League Classic, Mercedes of Paramus, and Michael Elms Realty.
15 low.
We're going to get a check on the other match, which has already started too.
If you're in the local area, come on down. There's plenty of food, drinks.
That was ill-advised overhead by Mick, giving Dan a backhand. I mean, that's really what you want to avoid this match.
That's the shot he wants.
Yep.
And as always, we always have our platform tennis fans out there watching all our live stream matches. Want to say hello to Larry Ellis down in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, watching along with her dad, Steve.
Quick update on the other match, 4-2 Humphrey Stulak over Glenn and Bibby.
30-15.
All right, this is a big point right here for Wright. See if he can get a backhand on this.
Guys, it's interesting to see the other matches already played 6 games where we're still on our third.
Well, I mean, at the changeover, they walked out like it was a tennis match. I was surprised I didn't hear Mike say time. Oh, missed the return.
40-15.
I feel like Dan was waiting for an opportunity to rip that backhand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he missed it. Same thing with Casamano. Yep. Those are 2 bad misses right there because that's what they want. Those 2, they want their backhands, and they're going to have much less margin for error in this match than the other guys.
And Zimmer was just putting those in just to start the point.
Right. Well, sometimes it's tough. I guess we know where the microphone is. Volley by Anthony after that overhead that was just hit too hard by Dan. So you can see Dan and Anthony just continuing to try and work Evan's corner, or just hit it at Evan because they're not worried about any drives out of him. And then every now and then they'll go to Mick, but they'll make sure they get it like Anthony's just there to get it into the sidewire.
Right, they're not going to let Mick attack them.
No, and Mick's going to get every ball out of there, but they're going to. Oh,
did they hit the net?
It did.
I think it went wide. Again, not much margin for error on Dan and Anthony right here.
And as I spoke about earlier, that I think Zimmer can't just lob every ball. I think he is going to have to show drive.
I disagree. He's going to lob every ball. You know what? When you're the guy in the court with the least pedigree, the key is don't be the guy to make a mistake. You know, Jamie Ferraro and Steve DeRose won the League Classic, and that was all about Jamie playing his role, and his role was not to drive and miss and get your serve in. And then Evan just drove the ball.
Dan looks like he's coming in, but he doesn't quite look like he wants to commit to that blitz. It's almost like he just wants to add just a little bit of pressure.
Well,
see if he can force a mistake.
You know, he's young, so he can keep faking it and not get tired. But yeah, he's always looking to move, and he's always looking to move around in net. And he's he's trying to step around a forehand and get a backhand here. But these guys are, both teams are pretty disciplined right now. They know what their strategy is. It's not a Tuesday fun match. It's for the Graham Cup. Is it still the Graham Cup? Is it the Irwin Cup or the Graham Cup now?
It's the Graham Cup.
Oh, all right.
It's Monday Night Madness, New Jersey.
There you go. There's the backhand. He finally got one. shot out of Dan. I think he's 1 for 2 now on that, or 1 for 3, but it's always a crowd pleaser when you can spin the ball back into the net, or back over the net.
It's definitely got the crowd excited.
Hey, so you know, we're going to be here for a long time, and we'd like to invite people. You know, all the tens of you that are watching at home right now. Anybody would like to ask any questions about the game or make any comments? We don't do shout-outs. We will do mentions, which is similar. I just don't like the term shout-out. But if anybody would like to get involved and be a little interactive here, you can text me at 973-713-9779. That's 973-713-9779. Identify yourself, ask a question, make a comment, and because we've got a lot of time to fill, and it's going to be a good night.
I think you also see here Casamano and Wright settling in a little bit, kind of lengthening the points. I don't know if they want to voluntarily get Mick involved in this. Maybe let him create his own offense.
No, it's clear. They're just being very precise. They're trying to put their overheads in a good spot. They keep it away from Mick hitting a offensive shot. And best point so far as transition is concerned.
Mick looked like he was daring Evan to go at him right there, staying up at the net.
You know, you have these long points, and you know, even though every point's just a point, it kind of feels like they're more important if you hit 30 or 40 shots. So unfortunate miss by Anthony there. Wow, great volleys by Mick and a good pickup by Evan from the service line.
John, to your point, sometimes those long points, they are momentum changes.
Sure. Another error by Anthony, unfortunate. Good switch. Switch back on that two screen. Well, Mick had his chance right there. He's not happy about that.
And I don't think for Casamano and Wright, that's a long-term strategy. Let Mick drive that ball coming off the back screen hot.
He's gonna get one or two.
Dan deciding to stay back on his serve on that one.
not up.
Advantage for Goya Zimmer.
All right, another chance to break Dan Wright's serve after Wright and Casamano were up in the game. You hear that? Nick said switching nobody. Dan's got to tell Evan's got to tell Nick that Dan's coming in there. The communication is very important in these matches when you're trying to hit the ball and you don't know what's going on the other side of the net.
Great get there by Dan Wright.
Yes, after a good shot by Mick.
Gotcha.
See the hard side back by Evan to keep Dan off the two-hander. There we go. Dan managed to get one. Now they've transitioned to the net. Very big point right here. Probably the biggest point of the match.
Really good spin over by Dan Wright there to end the point.
Yeah, it was a short lob, and he put it in the corner and managed to back Evan up. All right, deuce. Good lob, transition.
John, to your point before, Zimmer's got to pay attention to Wright if he's moving and blitzing when Adoya is going to hit those overheads.
Absolutely. So far, Evans doing a good job of just blocking the ball back, keeping it in play, playing defense.
Advantage for Goya Zimmer.
I think the difference right now is that Anthony Casamano has made more errors than everybody else, and we'll see how this service game ends and see if they can come back from it. Ball hits the line. Anthony, the gentleman that he is, hits Mick and apologizes.
It's the first tag of the night.
Yeah.
Let's see if it comes back the other way.
I would not think that Mick would go after Anthony. Others, 100%.
Advantage for Goya Zimmer.
Push that serve a little short. Fortunate after the last point.
Really good defense there by Evan Zimmer. That wasn't an easy shot to play off the deck there.
Good drive by Evan. There we go. transition by Evan. See, that's one shot that Dan right there has developed over the last year. He's got that, you know, he's known for his backhand, but he has the slice forehand, and if you're not careful, then when you volley that ball, if you're not careful to open your base of your paddle a little bit, that ball goes straight down based on the spin. So that's a very effective shot, and if you're and obviously Evan was not ready for it. And that's a good two-hander. Oh, and there you go. So Dan's taking over right here. He doesn't want to lose his serve twice in a row. Let's see if he can hold. Good volley. Good pickup by Mick on the nick. Mick and the nick.
Really good get.
Nick the nick. Trouble.
I think he hit the nick again.
All right.
All right, we see Casamano and Wright along their way back into this set.
Yep, that's a big hold. We have a couple of mentions. We've got Chris Donahoe, a lefty, which is always good. Is watching down in Kiowa, former teammate of mine at Morris County, and maybe future if he moves back. And we've got a little question here. We've got Jordan Beecham watching from Naples, Florida, and he asked, "Do you think in order to have a great paddle team, do you need a lefty?" And I think that that's most definitely true. Don't you guys think so?
I definitely think it makes a difference.
I'll tell you where it helps, Dave. It helps when you're playing on a bright sunny day, and it allows allows the sun not to be an issue on your serve, but otherwise it's just a matter of matchup sometimes. I think you know, you never see a lefty-lefty team, but you see so many righty-righty teams. You know, it depends. You know, sometimes when you've got a lefty on your team and you're playing a team of righties where the weaker player is in the deuce court, it helps to have a lefty who can work that corner a little bit.
Right. You definitely, with a lefty-righty, you have options when you're at the net. It definitely plays to an advantage because, to your point, you can make a decision and have a forehand down the middle hitting a ball to either side of the court.
But why is it, though, that you can have two righties, but you never really get two lefties? What's the difference there?
Well, because I would say right off the bat is that there's only 10% of the population is lefties, so lefties don't usually play the deuce side that much, and except for Drew and you know, and Ian McDonald's kid, you don't see it too often. So it's just a matter of not being used to it. All right, after what seemed like an interminable delay, we've got back in the match, and you know, little roller missed by Evan, and Mick serving love 15. That is undisciplined, Anthony says, and that's right. He's not known for his forehand. He's not going to win the point with that shot, but don't lose it.
And there you see the big serve by Adoya into that side screen.
Yep, nothing Anthony can do about that. And he's the backhand. He hits backhands. I tried to do something with that Saturday with forehands and couldn't do anything at all. It's just too hard. Humphreys is the same way.
See there a good decision by Wright and Casamano to just give up the net. They saw that Adoya had the short forehand, and there was no sense in trying to volley it. Just to stay in the point, take the ball off the back screen, and stay in the rally.
Good point. All right. Questionable call on the lob. It was out.
Mike Ushimsky, chair umpire, confirming that the ball was in fact wide.
put a little extra on that serve, but it's just going to come out and allow Dan to enter. But there we go. They get back to the net, a little transition.
40-15.
Watch here again, and we'll expect a very hard serve into the side wire by Mick, with Anthony just trying to get it back off the off a 2-wire, I would guess. No reason for Mick to try anything different, especially up 40-15. There you go. He served a little bit more down the middle, and Anthony actually got a nice two-hander on it. That's his first really effective one. And it got him, what, nothing.
Started the point.
He kept him in the point. Uncharacteristic volley missed by Mick.
Little
Casamano going for a little too much, and you know, Bedoya and Zimmer have been leading this set from the beginning. But
Let's just clarify: is it Zimmer or Zimmerman?
Zimmer.
He said Zimmerman. I've been saying. I mean, Mike said Zimmerman. I've been saying Zimmerman. I think Zimmer's good. He's a man. So either way, but we'll go with what his name is. So it's Zimmer.
I believe it's Zimmer.
All right. The Z-Man. Call him the Z-Man. That's kind of a combo, right? Z.
Love 15.
But I think that was a big game for them just because Wright and Casamano were clawing their way back, settling in, starting to get a little comfortable.
Yeah, and these Anthony service games could go downhill quick. Good volley. There you go. Mick's trying to take over here.
John, we want to say hello to all the fans out at the Short Hills Club Rackets Club watching down by this train station. I think that's one of the best two-court facilities around, with the bar right off to the side. Really great venue.
Name another one.
Yeah, stay. Switch.
I mean, you made the call, so I just gotta call you out on that.
Another two courts clubs?
Yeah, go ahead.
You got Hallworth.
No, I didn't ask you
I'm
to.
sorry. I jumped in. I shouldn't have said anything.
Harworth has a nice tap too. It's in the middle of nowhere, but they've got beer on tap.
They do have beer on tap. I think another good one is Fellsbrook. And ladies and gentlemen, you never know who's going to walk into the booth.
Johnny Fan.
Johnny Fan is in the house.
Yes. We'll have him on tonight around 12:30 for everybody. All right. A weak service game for Anthony, but I'll tell you one thing that I think Mick's going to want to do when he returns. Every now and then, he's going to want to go down the line to try and go behind Dan, but I guess they want it easily anyway. So this is odd. Should we time this changeover? I mean, it is a Monday night, and we do have some time, but how long are they going to leave the court for, and what's going on here? But in the meantime, I think I'd like to make a mention. Oh, there we go. Shifty, Robbie Shivenhouse tells me that it's Zimmer. It is definitely Zimmer. Why he said Fellsbrook, I don't know. Maybe that's where Shifty's watching the match. But thanks Shifty.
Fellsbrook is one of our other Dynamite two-court facilities.
Oh, a two-court facility.
Two-court
Good.
facilities.
All right, so there you go. Well, you made the call, and now we know that there's
I wonder if they're skating on the pond. Is Shifty out? Does he have his ice skates on?
Listen.
Are they skating tonight?
With this climate situation we're in, they might be swimming in the pond. Because I think we hit 50 degrees again today.
All right, so Evan Zimmer
serving for the set.
Serving for the set.
We'll see right away whether Anthony can jump on a backhand right here. And that's a tough miss. I mean, that's Zim's just, the Z-Man's just dropping it in there. I think Mick touched the net or the post or something.
That was a pretty good get.
But it wasn't. All right, Anthony's got to come through here. There we go. On the line. I love how it seems like Dan Wright develops like 1.5 shots a month. They've switched. Good pick up in the corner by the Z-Man.
Wright's starting to show his variety in his overheads here too, which is, might not help them at this stage of the match, but in this, there's still another set to be played at least.
Yeah, this set's not over. I mean, it's only mostly over. That's a nice exchange.
There, yeah.
Nice exchange.
15-30.
Another good backhand by Dan. He's pretty locked in with that shot. All right, here we come. The crucial Dan Wright third service game of the set to stay in the set. Expect it's going to be. I think you're going to be looking. Dan's going to be looking for a backhand down the middle. They've got the backhands in the middle now. There it comes. I don't think Mick means to hit it there. You got to go in the side wires now with the guys on the opposite sides. Here comes another two-hander and the transition.
I think, Ara, from the other semifinal, do we have a result?
Yeah, we just got an update.
It's over, right?
We just got an update. It is over, and Humphreys and Stulak won 6-2, 6-0 over Glenn and Bibby.
Isn't it 6-love?
You can say 6-love if you'd like. 6-0, 6-love, 6-0, whatever you'd like.
All right. They won in straights?
You could say that. Maybe straights.
Oh. The Z-Man wants that shot back.
Really good volley there by Dan Wright, getting on top of the net.
Just like that, it's 5-4.
Just like that, it's 5-4, and we are going to start the clock on this changeover. We can't find it. We'll start a clock. Wait, here it is. All right, we're starting the clock to see how long they've all left the court. This is give us a chance to talk about Ara, Paddleboy's Ara, right here, who had a a breakthrough victory on Saturday. Can we talk about that a little bit? He and his what's your partner's name?
Well, we call him Spelling Bee because we can't pronounce or say his last name. His name's Chris, something with an S. That's
Chris,
as far as we go.
Well, Ara, Chris, something with an S.
It's not an easy
had
one like Hintarjian.
Well, you put them together, and there's about 30 different letters in those two last names combined. So.
Well, regardless of who the heck his partner is, they had a fantastic victory over Dan Urban, a Columbia tennis champion, and his partner Will Everett. That was possibly the biggest upset of the main draw.
I like to think so.
And then who did you play the next round?
The next round, we faced a lesser-known competitor named Martin Bostrom.
All right, hang on just a second here. Sure. We are at 1 minute and 20 seconds. The longest changeover in League Classic history, except for maybe 3 games ago. Or 2. All right, big point right here. We've got Mick serving for the set. Careful, Mick. Just watch out for Dan's backhand. Anthony's not really ripping his, but Dan will. Oh, unfortunate nick out of Mick. Otherwise, it's the point for them. Good coverage by Anthony. Always remember, you got to cover for your partners. The Z-Man lucky with that roller. Oh. Forehand mistake by Anthony. He's got to keep away from those mistakes. All right, look for a big backhand here. I wonder if Mick puts a little extra juice on this one. And he does. Oh, great lob by Mick.
You just see all 4 players that when they know a drive is coming, you see how important it is for them to get right on top of the net.
Or bail.
Oh, no.
Second error of this game by Anthony.
30 low.
The Z-Man with the call.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Let's see what Mick does with the serve, and if Anthony can jump on the return. I would think he might be a little more tentative down 30 love with the set on the line. No, I don't think tentative was an issue there. Good move by Dan, keeps him in it here, and I expect this will be a very interesting exchange right here because Mick's going to try and serve this one hard, and Dan's going to be looking for that backhand, and Mick doesn't have the spin to avoid it. Oh, he's soft. He hit a little soft.
He went with the slower
speed.
Yeah,
Dan wasn't ready for that one. Sometimes slower is better. He can get into net.
I'm surprised a little bit that Dan Wright's not trying to blitz a little bit more, move in. He's been out here for a couple of years now, and he's actually very good at transition, very good at taking, volley-to-volley exchanges. So I'm surprised he's not doing that a little bit more.
I think he is.
Well, I think he's starting to pick it up now.
I think he's looking to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
30-all.
Later in the set, it's
Maybe he's got
to
somewhere to go. All right, 30-all. Another serve to Anthony here. Again, I think Nick's going to rip it, and we'll see what happens.
Just to remind everyone, we're coming to you live from the beautiful Fairmount Country Club in Chatham, New Jersey.
Quite the crowd, too.
Quite the crowd is building. The crowd is building. We still have another match to follow this. The finals of the 2023 New Jersey Men's League Classic to follow this match. Winner of this will take on Chris Humphreys and Mike Stulak from the Short Hills Club.
Go. Go. Go ahead. Go. Gotta hit.
There's Dan's blitz that you were calling for.
Yeah. Good play. Kept it in. They're going to probably work Anthony over here into his forehand. I don't see why they wouldn't. Dan sneaks over. I totally expect him to work Anthony here. How about some drop shots, guys, and then some points? I think the only one of these players that has a drop shot is Dan, and he hasn't had one yet tonight. But a couple of spinners. That's a tough error.
He almost did it in too good of a spot.
You know,
That they couldn't.
It's a valuable point. It's a valuable point. Anthony just rushed a forehand, and he's clearly the one of these four that's making more mistakes than the others.
All right, here we have set point number 1. All right, John and Arrow, we have the first set going to Idoia Zimmer over Casamano Wright.
Let's see what 20, 30 minutes before the next set starts? What do you think?
No, come on. We'll be right back shortly after commercials from our sponsors.
When choosing a luxury vehicle, nothing compares to a Mercedes-Benz. The same can be said when choosing the right dealership, and Mercedes-Benz of Paramus is without equal. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff are committed to providing you with the best experience possible. They have an extensive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with customized lease and finance options just right for you. You'll know you've come to the right place the moment you walk into the dealership. Mercedes-Benz of Paramus.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private, your legacy, our discipline.
All right, everybody, we are back, and we are now joined with the founder and CEO, President, King, Emperor of Xenon Paddle, Noah Seidenberg. Is that a good intro?
Yeah, that's a good intro. You forgot to say co-host along with you of Inside the Wires podcast.
I was waiting for a better moment to kind of build up to that.
Sorry. Well, then we'll talk about that later.
I think we have Ben Ashford listening in, by the way. I got a nice text from him.
Oh, nice.
So we have all the hosts of Inside the Wires listening in.
Love it. And one of our favorite guests, Dave Broderick.
That's right.
Who can forget Dave's Cinco de Mayo interviews?
I think John was right before where he said this changeover is going to take a while. Let's see, they're coming back on. We'd like to take a moment to thank Blake Anderson here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for Director of Rackets at the Fairmount Country Club. Thank you, Blake, for hosting.
He arranged the rain to stop just before the event started too, which was nice.
It was amazing.
Everything's
Amazing
dried
work.
up. We need to figure out how to have a league classic in Chicago like this. This is good stuff. So as you know, Ara, since we talk about it on our podcast, we have something similar. The finals night for our league. We have one league and it goes through March. And our finals is the Wednesday before Nationals start. So it's similar to this. We get a great crowd, probably 400 or 500 people out. A lot of food, a lot of drink, and it's a great battle. But
How many different series are there right now in Chicago?
I think
120, 130?
I think 51 series of men.
So is the finals, is there a final for each series, or is it?
There is. So they have the finals for each series. Usually start about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and then everybody meets at Glenview, which was the host site for Nationals this year. And they watch usually series 1 and 2, or series 2 and 3 play their finals. It kind of depends because a lot of the guys who play the top series, again, because Nationals usually starts the next day, are usually leaving a little bit early to get out. So it makes it a little more challenging. But this is a great event. It's my second time I've been out for the league. Oh, that's nice.
Huge cutter by Dan Wright.
That's nice.
30-15.
That's right. Must be that Xenon paddle that he's using right now.
Could be. Could be. It certainly didn't hurt that time, that's for sure.
40-15.
So this is my second league classic. I was out 2 years ago, and I've got to say, these things are amazing. I can see why they're so popular. I was told by, let's say, at least one of the people playing out there right now, that if League Classic was the same night as a Grand Prix event, the Jersey guys who play the Grand Prix events would probably play League Classic instead.
It is quite an event, and you know we've been at a minimum of 128 teams for at least 15 years now. This year, again, we had 160 teams, and we probably get close to 200 teams within the first half hour of signups open.
That's crazy. Unbelievable.
And I know that in Baltimore, they tried to basically copy kind of the structure of this event, right?
Yeah.
We spoke to Sam Byram, and they're trying to create the same kind of atmosphere, same kind of crew. And I think they got about 64 teams this year with a huge crowd, great tournament, great setup, and hopefully next year it'll just keep growing.
Charm City Classic?
That's right.
Sam will kill me if I don't have it right. I think it's Charm City.
Charm City Classic.
But yeah, considering the size of their paddle community versus Jersey, to get 64 teams off of that is fantastic.
Dan went for another cutter there. This time it didn't work out.
And the League Classic is open to any member of the New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association. They have to have played 3 matches during the year, and you have to play with another member from your club.
And 2 pros cannot play together. Is that right, Dave?
Unless a good pro plays with a bad pro like me, then there might be an exception. Otherwise, no, 2 good pros can't play together.
There's always
But
exceptions to the rule.
if you catch me on a weak moment and I say yes to playing, and you're a pro out there, then the board, led by Rob Scanone, might make an exception.
So we have one of your transplants in Chicago now. We have Ryan Faig, who used to be out here, and I remember talking to him a couple of years ago, and He said he was going to try to figure out a way to come back and play 3 league matches in Jersey after he moved to Chicago, just so he could play in the league class.
Well, guess what, Noah? He definitely played one a couple weeks ago because he beat me pretty badly at the Englewood Field Club. So he's trying to make true on that.
Well, I mean, after Noah saying something like that, we should just shut it down, pack it in, and go. I mean, that's what other compliment can you get when a guy's flying from Chicago to play 3 league matches, not to win the matches, but just so he can play in the New Jersey League Classic.
To qualify.
Right.
I wish he wasn't playing to win the match against me, but apparently he was.
There is a rumor that he hit you. Is that true, Art?
That is absolutely incorrect. Oh. Martin tried to hit me yesterday many times, failed. Sorry, Martin. It's not going to happen.
I'm guessing he wasn't trying hard enough.
Oh, he was trying hard enough. He
Did
definitely
you do
was.
something to warrant that?
Oh, well, I was wearing a hoodie with a giant target on it that said, "You can't hit me" on it, and I was taunting him the whole time, saying he couldn't hit me. I may have even gotten Floor to text him and ask him if he did hit me.
Listen, that's not a bad strategy to get him miss a few, keep it close.
Don't reveal my tricks, Dave. Don't reveal my tricks, but it does definitely work.
Move. That's a veteran move.
I thought you wore the sweatshirt that said "Hit me if you're Swedish." No?
It's "Kiss me if you're Swedish."
Oh, that was what
it's a little bit different.
That is what it was. So, these guys are about 4 games in by the time the other quarter was done, huh?
Yep. That was a quick one.
And we just want to remind everyone that following this match, we will have the finals of the 2023 New Jersey Men's League Classic. The winner of this match will take on, from Short Hills Club, our #1 seeds and defending champions, Chris Humphreys and Mike Stulak. Hall of Famer Mike Stulak.
Is it true that because these guys are such good athletes, there's going to be a 4-minute intermission before the next match?
It's possible.
I heard there were some influencers coming out to get the crowd pumped up for the final.
Some social media influencers?
It'll bring back memories of Scott Crabtree climbing up the light post to get the crowd riled up.
I will say
that was before social media and video cameras were a thing.
I was going to say, coming out here, I noticed a lot of social media influencers in the crowd. I mean, one of them is sitting next to me here talking. But
Dave Broderick has an Instagram account?
Dave is all over social media.
Just for the record, I just found out that while you were on a phone call last week, you could actually send a text message. I found that out.
You can multitask.
My 11-year-old nephew, Vincent Broderick, told me about how to do that.
It's all right, Dave. Texting will never catch on anyway, so it's a passing fade.
Nothing's going to replace the fax machine, Dave. Don't worry. Dave, before you were mentioning that, what a great compliment that we have people coming all the way out from Chicago just for this event. We have one sitting right next to us as well who came out just for this event.
We do. And you know what? Noah and Xenon, as one of our sponsors for the tournament, supplying the balls. Xenon's the official ball for the New Jersey Men's League Classic. It's great support for the game. And, I know as a board member, we all, yourself included, as a board member for the Men's League, we all appreciate it. Thank you, Noah.
Always my pleasure.
Noah, have the new balls been released?
The new balls came out about a month ago. They're called the Championship Edition ball, and the exact same durability of a regular ball. Become obviously very popular, and just a little softer feel.
That's not the same as a summer ball, right? This is just a different feel of the same type of ball.
exact same bounce as a regular ball, just a softer feel to it.
Okay.
It is a nice feel, I have to be honest.
And Dave knows about feeling balls.
I do. I do.
I would know.
Hey, this is a family show.
I'm
We have
sorry, I'm
families
sorry.
out
Just
there
like
watching.
We're talking about Xenon here.
Just like that,
Love 15.
it descended into chaos. All right, so Dave, what can Dan and Anthony do here to turn the tide?
Well, I think early on they're just making a couple of uncharacteristic, unforced errors, easy mistakes, giving Adoya and Zimmer easy points. They kind of started out that way in the first set, but then sort of tightened it up, and we saw it was a much closer set. And I just think they have to do the same thing. I mean, listen, we all know at the end of the day, we watch, there's a lot of live stream going on out there. We see a lot of fancy shots. We see a lot of different spin. It still comes back to who makes more unforced errors. All right? Whoever makes more unforced errors, they're going to come in second.
Sure.
And, they just, I think, now again in the second set, Wright and Casamano put themselves in a little bit of a, behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And they're going to have to clean some things up.
So it's interesting, as you mentioned that Dan and Evan just had a big, got a hand-to-hand thing there at the net. That's like one of the few places you're really going to win a point, maybe, right? Is those quick hand-to-hand battles at the net.
Right.
Oh, nice get.
And I think for Dan Wright, I think, he doesn't mind getting into those hand-to-hand exchanges with Zimmer. I'm not quite sure he wants Adoya getting involved in those. So I think when he does engage with Zimmer, I think, he feels like he's got to, that's the time he can try to make something happen.
By the way, Sam Byram from Baltimore is actually in Utah skiing right now, but he's watching the League Classic and just texted me, thanked us for the shout out, and sitting there right now, probably by a fire, drinking some scotch or something.
Where is he, in Park
watching
City?
the
Out
League
in Park City?
I'm not sure. He just said Utah. He said, I'm in Utah skiing, but watching the League Classic.
Dude.
It's been something to watch Dan Wright come on the last couple of years, isn't it? Remember a couple of years ago, he and Matt Puig started playing together and just kind of broke into the scene, and Dan has really been playing well. Last 12 months, opened up the season strong at Montclair.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been out there for long, but he's super fast. He's really becoming a student of the game. He's very patient. He hasn't made, even in tonight, with some of the mistakes they've made, they really haven't been forced mistakes, or not many loose mistakes. And quite honestly, he has been fun watching to play the last couple of years.
I was talking to him the other day about how he feels going into a lot of these tournaments. I mean, he's been playing a lot of big tournaments. He's made it really deep into some of the bigger ones recently. And he said, I never go into a tournament that I don't think I'm going to win. He said, my mentality is if I'm entering this tournament, I'm going to win this tournament. And he was dead serious. I mean, he was stoic face, just looking me in the eyes like, I'm going to win. I'm like, all right, Dan, fine. You're going to win. You're going to win. And here he is.
I try to think the same thing, but then after my first match, I realized that apparently I was very badly mistaken. I think that Dan Wright and Matt Puig were tutored by one Blake Anderson as they got started early in their career.
Game Adoya Zimmer, they lead the second set 3-0. Adoya Zimmer won the first 6-4.
All right, hey guys, thanks for having me here.
No, well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for all that you do in the world of platform tennis. And Thank you for supplying balls for the New Jersey Men's League Classic.
And I can't wait to try those softballs, Noah.
Well, Dave has softball. So
Hey, wait a minute.
go ahead, try 'em.
Let me see your hands. Everyone's hands on the table. Hands up, like you're on the roller coaster.
Thanks, guys. Turn it back over to the capable hands of John Lebar.
Thank you again, Noah.
Someone get that door.
I just walked in, but did you just ask Noah about his shreddy balls?
No, his softballs.
How do you
Yes.
know?
I felt them, and so has Dave.
Both of you have felt Noah's softballs.
They are quite comfortable.
Amazing. They're
Are they
just as
soft?
durable as the hard ones.
Wait a second. What are we talking about?
Noah's soft balls. I don't understand.
Okay.
What's the confusion here?
The championship
Sorry,
quality ball.
I thought it was a different subject. All right, so what do we got? 3-0.
Bedoya Zimmer up 3-love, second set after taking the first set.
Yeah. Still looks like Evans just popping it in, but he's not getting hurt. You know what? He's got Nick playing Australian, and so they're in control with these. Were the last couple of games close? I was in the parking lot, oddly.
They were close. They were a couple of, loose errors. Last game, actually, Evan Zimmer hit a, really good shot to win the
great.
last game. He kind of, I think he had Casamano thinking he was going to lob it, and at the last minute he hit a nice little screen drive, a little flick off the screen to win the point.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think the difference probably so far has been Evan versus Casamano. Casamano made a lot of unforced errors in the first set, and obviously he's a great player and he's got some great volleys and a great backhand, but he made a couple of loose errors. And we'll see if they can get things back in order here, or we'll be looking at the final pretty soon. All right, Dan catches the Nick. I think it's pretty much the only way you can keep Nick from getting it back is catching the Nick.
Did I just hear a cowbell? Did you guys hear that?
Would you like more cowbell?
Yeah.
I think I'd like more cowbell. I just heard a cowbell in the background. Let's see if we hear it again soon.
Also, it's interesting. This is the first two times that Bedoya has gone to the Australian or I formation.
Well, it's a logical play because with the short with Evans' serve, I mean, why not cover the middle?
Apparently, it's hammer time amongst the fans.
People are getting excited at this stage of the game.
Nice to see them make this a set. Good return by Mick, but no transition. I think sometimes Mick hits that return too hard. He can't get to net because he doesn't have time.
Right.
Or maybe you should just tell Evan to go up. I think that's one spot where they might be lacking is if Mick's going to rush that return, Evan should be halfway to the net when he hits it to look to cut off the drive.
John, do you think at this stage of the match maybe Dan Wright has to get a little bit more involved?
I mean,
try to do a little bit more with his overheads, maybe look to hit his backhand a little bit more.
Well, he's looking to hit his backhand every time he gets it, and he's very precise with his overheads. I mean, he's just not trying. He's just trying to not give these guys, much. And and Evan's not doing anything, so he's got a free spot over there. Oh, there's a two-hander by Evan, but it's it's not a really tough two-hander. So I think that Dan just got to stay the course, and there's nothing he can do if they keep abusing Anthony, unfortunately.
You see there, Mick Bedoya said, you know what, I'm going to take over at this point.
Well, he can do that any time.
He single-handedly won that one.
He's very patient. Love seeing the Ginger drive. Is Ginger derogatory?
I don't think so. Oh, good. All the kids are saying it these days.
I know it is in school. Like, first of all, Ginger wasn't even a thing when we were kids. It was like you were a redhead, right?
Huh?
Well,
Then
she
it
was
became
on Gilligan's Island, wasn't
That's
she?
right. Ginger and Marianne.
That's something completely different, Dave. That's the key point right there. Is what Dan can do when he serves to Mick. Dan, to hold his serve, needs to get into the point, and he's got that soft serve, and Mick's going to rip it. Now let's see if they can just get to that point again.
What do we think? We watch Anthony closing in on a lot of those volleys. Do we think maybe a couple of days into John Lubau's School of Drop Shots could help at this point?
Anthony does not have a drop shot. I don't understand it.
Does he have a dagger, though?
That's what I'm saying. Can we
He
get
did.
him enrolled in the John Lubau
No,
School of Drop Shots?
Anthony has hit a dagger. He hit a dagger in the back draw of Short Hills against Steve and me off the deck, oddly.
You hear
All
the
right.
crowd wants more.
All right, well,
The crowd wants more.
sounds like Keyswater, but here we go. This is the big spot right here. Oh, we got the Mick incredulous that he got the leg cord long. He thought that was it. All right. Now it looks like Evan's stepping in to try and rip one. And he does. He's feeling it. I love that. I tell you, if Evan starts hitting forehands, it just gives Casamano and Wright fewer places to safely hit the ball.
And it gives Doya Zimmer another dimension.
Another dimension. Where are we at? A fish concert?
That could be in between matches.
All right. Big point. You know, just where they're like Lazarus, just when you thought they were out. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Obviously, we can see they're going to Australian. I don't know why Mick just doesn't hit the ball straight up the line.
And let Zimmer close the net.
See, even
There
that.
we go.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
a
did
good
they
play.
hear me?
So that was, yes. Well, they closed that up. You know, that was a bad spot. Way to go. That was the perfect spot by Evan to get right in there.
And by the way, we're not showing this on tape delay. I didn't see that in advance.
All right, you know what, Evan?
Now he's getting ambitious.
Now he's human.
How about you just work on the forehand? But let's see what happens here. Again, I think Mick goes right up the line. Evan, get in there, Evan, right to start off the bat. Right.
Gave up the net.
Yeah, because Dan knew that he was in there.
Did Mick try to fan that ball out with his hand?
It's a weak, long lob. Yeah, Evan, just stick to your forehand. I'll tell you, when you have the least pedigree on the court, one shot is yours. Your one good shot, your best shot, that's what you hit. And that, what Evan is realizing is his forehand, and otherwise, don't get hit in the foot.
So question, you heard the footsteps. Is that a hindrance?
No. No, get over it.
To intentionally think that you're coming in.
Yeah, I've done that. Pitter patter, pitter patter.
It's actually a rule, it's a hindrance.
bullshit.
What do you mean, like slamming your feet
Yeah.
on the aluminum just to?
It is an actual rule.
No, it's
It is in the rule book.
all right. Let's stop at the rules.
We're going to have to bring Mikey Shimsky in, or maybe G-Rob, to clarify.
Please no.
Does it
I
have
mean,
to be?
Mike, fine, he's in the chair, but please, I beg you.
Does it have to be intentional though? Does the intent
It
matter?
does. It does have to be intentional hindrance.
There we go. That's a great spot. We thought the easy play for Dan was to hit that 200 down the middle, and he went behind Evan and got him. All right. Very, very big point here. Will Evan have the guts to drive this soft serve from Dan? Nope. Nick called it out. Nick called it out.
Confirmed by chair umpire Mikey Shimsky.
Yes, and that's a great, you know what? If Dan's going to just put those soft serves in there and rush his way to net, you might as well smack it at Anthony. That's what I don't understand. Dan, I've seen Dan in off-season had a topspin serve that's much more effective. I just don't think he has the confidence.
I got it. There you go. Go. Hit. Hit.
We want to thank all our viewers out there that are watching this semifinal match from the 2023 New Jersey Men's League Classic between Mick Odoya and Evan Zimmer, taking on Dan Wright and Anthony Casamano. We'd like to welcome in, we have a special guest into the booth, one of our finalists who played earlier tonight, Chris Humphreys, representing the Short Hills Club, along with Hall of Famer Mike Stulak. Chris, welcome.
Welcome, Dave. Thanks for having me in here, guys. It's good to be back again.
Yeah, sure. It's a very big point right here. We're
This looks very tight. I've been watching on the on the live stream, listening to your guys'
you've been watching
very colorful commentary.
You've been watching it live. Oh, you're right here. You could just watch it live.
Well, before
But then he wouldn't hear
before
us.
I got here, exactly. I wanted to hear the experts break it down as it was happening.
Clearly, we're not experts. We're just here.
Looks like this last game has gotten pretty tight, though, huh?
This is the key. In every set, the key has been Dan Wright's service games from the first set when they were up 40-love and lost the game, and then they were up again and it went back and forth. So it's been the key game of every set.
Back-to-back unforced errors on the return of serve.
And there we go. Now, little known fact, but we've just realized it, that once again, year after year, there will be a lefty raising the cup this year. That's always something that's very important. I can't remember the last time that there wasn't a lefty in the final.
John, did I see that or 7 of the top 8 seeds, lefties, had a lefty on their team in the seedings this year as well?
I did not see. I heard something like that. I actually have not yet looked at the draw.
I believe Bentheim and Pryor are your only non-lefty duo in there.
All right. Well, that's 7 out of 8. That's impressive. Again, I did not look at the draw. I still haven't. I'm not happy about how the draw turned out. I could have been quite happy about how the first draw turned out, but that's a story for another day, or not even a story at all. So you guys, how did things go with Clay and James? Obviously, you got on top of them pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was,
were they a little tentative, or were you guys just playing loose, or how'd it go?
I think it was probably a combination of Mike and I playing loose, and them playing a little tentatively to start, and we got ahead pretty quickly in the match, and Mike and I were playing very, very quick tempo. So whether it was the style of the points or the changeovers, we were feeling good. So we didn't want to give them any time to slow down and think about it. And I just think we were able to keep things moving quickly before they could really get their rhythm in the match. The last 2 games I actually thought were like very competitive games, and we had some long points, but it was 6-2, 4-0 at that point. So it's a real uphill battle at that point to get back in it.
No, that's a nice win. I think we have to spend a little bit of time on the during the semifinals here. We'll let everybody watch the match, but we have to talk a little bit about James Glenn. It's his first time ever making it to the semifinals of the Lead Classic. He's really improved his game over the years. He's got a really ripping forehand. And he's a solid player. What do you have to say about his game tonight? I mean, maybe, or just in general, if he wasn't so good tonight, I don't know.
I think James is a very, very strong player, and they're both really clean ball strikers, both James and Clay. So, I mean, I think they're a tough team. They probably prefer to play a little bit slower tempo, if I had to guess. And I think Mike Stulak is one of the best, fast tempo players in the country. So. We were just trying to make sure we didn't let them, they had to play on our terms versus playing on theirs. But I can tell you that, the number one objective is probably staying away from James's forehand on the court. That's the biggest shot out there, and, we were trying to minimize the amount of damage he can do with his forehand.
No, I agree with that. I mean, Clay Bibby used to really rip his backhand, but he's been much more slow in his game over the last year, and I think it's helped him a little bit. But yeah, James is. I play with James probably 1 or 2 times a week, and and when he lines up with that forehand, he doesn't disguise it. He's going to hit it, but it's a heavy forehand.
But he hits it for sure.
It's a heavy forehand, and it's and I do think, having not seen any points in that match, that he probably had a little bit of he gets a little nervy at times. I've played a tournament or 2 with him, and and when you're in your situation, you've got a little more experience. You have to take advantage of that and, hold them prisoners, right?
For sure. I definitely, last year Mike and I did a lot of practice matches before we played. And ironically enough, we lost every single practice match and every single practice set that we played before the tournament. And, somehow things clicked as we got out there this year. I felt like we probably just gelled, much quicker into the tournament than years before. And I think it definitely helps that, we've been here before and played a lot of matches together, and particularly really competitive matches together. It's definitely a surreal experience, being here on Monday night with this many people, and it feels like the noisiest crowd of all the crowds that you'll see. You might see a lot of people at the bigger APTA tournaments, but they're not as vocal as this one, so it definitely takes some getting used to.
Right. No, I mean that's just much more professional atmosphere, and this is just a lot of guys hanging out. But to a point that you made about not winning practice matches. Practice matches are different, I mean, you and I have played enough practice matches where we're trying different things, and we're, not that we're not trying to win the match, but we're just working on different stuff or trying silly shots here and there. But when it comes down to it, there is something to be said for playing deep in a tournament, and there's a way to win, and it's not maybe as fun, but you know what? You get the trophy, and that's pretty fun, right?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
John, speaking of getting the trophy, we should also congratulate Chris on his Steel City Classic win last week out in Pittsburgh on the APTA Tour. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave. As you know, I had a really great, young, talented partner.
Who'd you play with?
I played with a guy named Russell Benkheim, who is working with Dave right now over at Fiddler's Elbow, and I think he's only 23 years old, Dave.
He is. He's 23, but he is mature beyond his years.
And you've checked his ID. You've got confirmation on this.
The guys in the paddle hut, yes, they checked his ID.
I heard a few zingers about this last weekend. But no, we had a good time. I think he called me Wednesday night and told me, hey, my partner Mitch Granger is, his elbow's bothering him and doesn't think he can play. Do you think he'd want to fly out last minute and play it with me? So it was not a planned thing at all, but super fun experience, and really enjoyed hanging out and playing the tournament with him.
And you took some steel back from Pennsylvania, right? I mean, that's
of course.
That's the goal is to bring everything back to Jersey. Well, good. I played with Russell a couple of weeks ago. He's got a nasty serve to the ad side. I mean,
it's huge.
He was rolling the forehand serve to me when we were playing, and he's got a lot of spins and a lot of skill in it. He's gonna if he's not already near the top, he will get there, and I'm looking forward to playing some practice matches with him in the future.
No doubt, no doubt.
Advantage, Casamano White.
Now, John, what do you think about experience on this court? Obviously, I think Mick is probably the biggest name on the court, super talented. But I think Casamano has probably the most history playing this tournament, playing on Monday nights. I was looking at the records the other day. Did I see he has like 11 of these already?
Yes, but we already covered the fact that they used to not be Monday night. These finals used to be on Sunday.
So those matches are pretty much negated. I mean, it's totally different playing on Sunday.
Well, yes, exactly. And we actually we might say that Drew has the most experience on Monday nights. But,
okay.
But Anthony made a lot of mistakes in the first set, and I think that was most of the difference. But they've just when it seems like they're left for dead, they've been hanging in here. And there you go. And
curse of the commentator.
Yeah, you hate to see. Exactly. You hate to see Anthony, especially make a forehand. If he makes a backhand mistake, that's his shot. But a forehand mistake, he shouldn't be going for as much.
I feel the same way.
Did you see that Wright and Casamano switched that time on the baseline? They put Anthony in the ad side of the court, and they kept Dan Wright over there on the deuce side.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I don't think. I don't think I've seen Casamano play on the ad side too many times.
No, but if something's not working, you give a shot here and there.
Sure.
It makes them think about. All of a sudden they go from hitting the ball to try and hit the ball down the middle into the wire instead into the wire. That's a bad mistake out of Dan there.
Man.
And those are the ones that hurt, where you have a game point, and then you go make two quick, unforced errors to lose the game.
Yeah,
I have no experience with that, Dave.
Yeah. I'm sure we all do. All right, so should we do
the
another?
The difference for you is you always have a lot of game points for you, so you can afford to miss shots on those. But when you don't get a lot of game points, you got to capitalize when you have them.
We're doing another time to see how long these guys take a break. They might. I think it's freaking tennis.
John, can you get on your phone
No. Should we? Let's.
The Jeopardy music.
Has the Monday Night Football game started yet? Can we? Is there any scores we can give? I wasn't prepared for such a massive delay, but at least you know what? We'll just. They're back.
Here they come.
Two of them are back.
So, Chris, from your experience, because again, as we talked before, and we do want to remind everyone out there that you and Mike are the defending champs.
Why you don't think they know?
Some of them might, some of them may not, but we want to remind everybody out there.
Chris has been telling everybody all week.
What do you think about this for you guys? This delay, is it good? You get to rest, relax a little bit.
I think Mike made it very clear to me that he wanted to get off the court as quickly as possible. So, as I try and go by his requests at all times. As someone who's played way more big matches than I have in my career, I definitely think getting off that court quickly, not expending too much energy tonight is probably advantageous, and both of us feel pretty fresh for one more match tonight. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing a 3-set match go on here, but
good.
We'll be ready to go whenever.
You can stay and commentate the third
while you're playing. While you're playing.
Perfect. It's already like 1 a.m. in London. What are we going to do?
I didn't think about that one.
But then again, it's only 6 o'clock in New Mexico.
See, my family is excited to tune in. They were hoping to watch the first one. I had to break the news to them that we were not going to make the stream for the first match. But
that's all right. You made 2 last year.
Yeah, exactly. I knew. I
deservedly or not.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I think the Shore Hills crew definitely was very supportive of us getting the first one on there.
That's right. Let's only go forward. So the family's gonna sit down and have a nice dinner and watch the finals.
For sure. No, they're super excited. They love watching the paddle tournaments. They love coming out to the paddle tournaments too. So whenever they can tune in and watch, they certainly enjoy doing so.
Well, that's good. We didn't used to have live stream at and it's been a great way for a lot of people to see these matches and to learn about the game. And I don't even know if maybe they're archived. You can watch them again.
Absolutely, yeah. I can definitely tell you that I like to watch, old matches of, maybe to relive some good memories, or, try and learn from, bad matches that you played too. I think
or look at maybe some bad line calls.
the tape never lies. So I definitely think that there's a lot to be said from watching your matches and watching your opponent's matches and studying their patterns out there.
Wow, that was a great blitz by Evan. I think
it surprised Adoya.
I think it surprised Evan. All right, so it looks like they're feeling it now. And back to the key that's been the key in all this in the whole match. It's been Dan's serve. Wow. Mick's got to be bummed by that, because that was not a great drop shot. That was one of the few drop shots and not a good one.
Mick started running before he hit it.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
He was on that one early.
Yeah, and he didn't need to do much with it because they were moving back. Wow, Evan's feeling it too.
I was going to say, does somebody want to remind them who he's standing next to with that forehand?
Unless you know, Evan's a player. Evan's a player. But he's definitely feeling it. And there's something about feeling it when you're up.
Confidence is a powerful thing.
Yeah. Oh, good spot. He went after the umpire on that one.
30 low.
Looks like a packed crowd out there tonight, John. Have we gotten a head count on how many people showed up tonight?
7,500.
That's
paid.
That's quite the number.
Paid.
Yeah, it's quite the number.
Paid. Actually, that showed like 350.
And they're very enthusiastic.
Absolutely.
And listen, you can take comfort, Chris, is that in about an hour and a half when you're in the second set of the finals, Dave and I will still be here with about 45 people, and everybody else will be tucked in at home in bed watching the match.
Listening to our soothing voices.
Oh, yes. Lullabies. All right, here we go. We're 2 points from the match, potentially. Most important serve here by Dan in return. Great volley. 2 great volleys. I do not expect Zimmer to be ripping him here. He's going to play defensive.
Dan is really going after the overheads.
All right, he got him. He got him.
40-30.
All right, well, that's a tough one. We will have a chance to see Mick serving for the match. Why don't you stay here through the end of this set and see how it turns out. We're going to put the timer on if I can find my clock here. All right, see how much time they take off the court, which is unorthodox, but it allows.
About 30 seconds the last time, John. Is that
well, I don't know. We'll see.
Your clock said 5 minutes, but I don't know if I saw you stop the clock there.
Stop it. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. All I know is when I played, I walked around the net and it was ready to play. I don't want to think. I don't just get ready to, especially if it was my serve.
For sure.
You think you're supposed
You don't want to ice the kicker.
Well, but you're not supposed to. In this game, the rule is you play to the pace of the server.
You would think Mick would be out there standing on the line, ready to serve.
And what are they doing outside of the court that they can't do inside the court?
Looks like they're sitting down.
Guys, while we have a moment, can we just thank the people that helped make this whole thing happen? PPAC Private Wealth Management, Xenon, the official ball of the New Jersey Men's League Classic, Mercedes of Paramus, and Michael Elms Realty. Also, we want to thank all of the members of the NJMPTA for all their support throughout the years and year in and year out playing, whether it's the Fall League, the Winter League. We want to thank all the guys out there playing.
All right, very nice, Dave, to do that. I think we were at about a 1 minute and 12 second between the games, but you know what? It's an important time, and they had a lot to talk about. And here we go.
Nice
Definitely
backhand.
The last game. Great move by Dan. Good volley by Anthony. And he caught a piece of him, right?
It looked like it.
Love 15.
Mick don't like that. Wow.
Love 30.
I think the crowd wants a third set right here.
Casamone right, they're turning it on right
this
here.
is gonna be, well, I'm sure Mick's going to hit this one doubly hard into the corner. I expect a little conservative play here in this point because this is a very important point. Oh, Anthony.
Very close.
It seems that all through the match, most of the difference has been Anthony's just kind of like unforced errors at bad times. See,
Which he's not known for. He's known for that consistent play.
Wow.
John, what do you think is harder to return? Mick's forehand off the screen or his forehand off the deck?
I just don't want to return a serve.
Yeah.
I mean, you both, man. You jam it. You both jam me with that serve as hard as you can, and then I either have to try and commit to a forehand or like start running around the court to try and get something back. So, no, it's when Mick lines up for the forehand during a point on the return, it's so clean. You can get it off the back wire. You just can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
All right, and again, we're 2 points away from the match for Urdoya Zimmer.
Wow, good forehand by Anthony. Takes the net.
All right, time to settle in now.
And the one thing, is Anthony doesn't have to worry about is, Mick doesn't like attack the overhead. There, see, that's where Anthony should hit the drop shot. That's where he never is in a drop shot in all the years I've played him.
I was thinking dagger there, John.
We're going to make the flyer. We're going to make the flyer.
Dagger could have worked too,
Starting in September, the John Lubau School of Drop Shots. Drop you.
You mean it's a postgraduate school?
Oh, that was a near collision. I like the loud footsteps, though.
They're legal. Fee, fi, fo, fum. As long as you say fee, fi, fo, fum, it should be legal. Very, very valuable point right here. Oh, good catch on the Nick. Way to go up the line. When you see a Nick coming, it's best to go up the line. Let your partner take it if it hits the Nick.
Now you can tell both teams are tightening up. They don't want to give away anything here.
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. Nice volley. Nice volley.
You can see. I'll tell you one thing, Mick never goes down the line. I really think he should a little bit. There we go. All right, reset.
You see Zimmer walking off the court. John, you would have went at him.
No, DeRose would have. This could be the best point of the match right now, and the most important.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Another one there. Do we have to introduce Zimmer to his partner?
Good spot by Anthony. Oh, wow, Anthony.
Joe threading the needle.
Yes. All right, so now here's what we expect right here. We expect a two-hander out of Dan as hard as he can somewhere. I wonder if Mick's going to lay into this serve a little bit harder than he would otherwise.
We did see him go with the soft one.
We'll see. It's coming right here, though. And they get the net. No, they don't. Crowd's going to go crazy if it's 5-5 after this. Switching. Unorthodox. Trouble.
Up to it. Gotcha.
Another unforced error.
Shoot!
Anthony should have just been concentrating, getting that ball in, and just get Dan a backhand and see if they could transition again. All right, here we go. Another hard serve coming right into Anthony's corner.
All right, well, fellas, we have match point number 1.
2 errors, Anthony. It's a tough ball to drive there when you're facing a match point if you don't.
Oh, little fake out move.
Oh, Dan just, you know what? Played a little conservative. Didn't want to lose the match right there.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Gotcha. Hit. Hit. Gotcha. Watch. Go ahead. Got it. Go ahead.
Oh, great shots.
That's a great play. That might be the shot of the match for Dan right there.
That was gutsy.
Match point, stepping in, hitting the two-hander.
In the alley.
And down the alley, right over the highest point of the net. Down the line, the shot that Mick has not hit all night. You can see Anthony stepping up. He was not going to even try to drive that ball.
Oh, he got it.
You got it?
I think so.
Good.
Advantage Cosimano right.
Wow, the forehand when it makes up for
That
4
was
or
a
5
big
errors
forehand,
over the
big
last
forehand.
couple of games. Nice two-hander. Watch out.
Hit. Hit. Switch it. Hit. Hit. Gotcha. Hit. 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 Hit it. Hit it. Hit it.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Match point down to 5-all.
Wow. The second set is tied 5-all.
You hear the crowd really getting behind Wright and Cosimano here.
All right, back to Cosimano serving. Well, here's what we expect. You know what? Nick has not gone down the line once on Dan here, and that allows Dan to poach without any repercussions. I don't expect things to change, but I expect Dan to look for the poach right here. Depends how deep Anthony can get this serve. Oh, it's tough. Not that. I would say overall not that deep.
Love 30.
He's not tossing the ball high enough. It's getting a little tight, maybe.
That's a great get, though.
It is.
Wow.
Although, you know, if you looked at it closely,
Oh.
Dan Wright controlling things.
I think
That was a pretty
Mick
good
might
shot.
be the loudest runner of all 4 guys on the court. You know when he's going for the ball.
You know, fee, fi, fo, fum. All right, big point right here.
Oh, is that good?
I think
30
so.
all.
I don't know if it was good, but I think
I
they're
don't know. I
playing it
think
as
Nick
good
should-
as.
Wait,
Nick
was
should've
it,
let
isn't
it go.
15, 40? No?
30 all.
30 all. 30 all. It looked like it hit the line.
Huh.
All right.
I thought they won the.
I don't know.
Cosimano Wright won the last 2 points.
Right, so it'd be 30 all.
40-30.
It is. They win the last 3 points.
Healthy cut there.
After 2 faults.
Okay.
I was going to say that's. If Cosimano and Wright can win this game, you're not going to feel good.
That's wide. Oh,
Wow.
wide, right? All right.
Get the timer rolling, Johnny.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, if they want to take a little time, it's okay. Not enough for a bathroom break for me, but still a very exciting here. We've got Evan the Ginger Zimmer. Is it Zimmer?
Zimmer. Not Zimmerman.
Not
Zimmer.
Serving to extend it to a tiebreaker, and then potentially not keep us here till tomorrow.
Well, my partner's got a flight to Florida, I believe, early in the morning tomorrow.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little time here. I want to thank some people. Again, this is not a shout out. This is a mention. I'll do it as quick as I can before this going. You know what? Let's just say a little bit of thing about the Huck Commanders over this past weekend. We've got Michael Charvala, Roger Breen, Alan Schmitzy, Sean Brosnan, Justin Taylor, Kenneth Emerson, Rich Van Tassel, David Walpov, the barman, Rob Scanoni, also our fearless leader, and Ted Lawless. These guys, they keep the tournament going. They're so important for everything. Without them, we might have started the round of the quarterfinals at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And they're just, they don't get paid. They just do a great job. Maybe they get paid.
For the love of the game.
They get paid a little bit. All right, we're back to the play here. Sorry. 15 love, 3 points from a tiebreaker.
I heard a lot of good things about Dave Wolpov out of the Orange One putt.
Talk about Dave later. Let's watch the match. Good overhead. So clearly we've got Dan Wright controlling the overheads. Put a little soft one at Mick. See if Anthony can get it. Just one bad overhead by Dan. Put it right down the middle, right on Mick's forehand, and that's what you can't do, right, Chris?
Absolutely. He'll make you pay for it.
He's got such a heavy drive. Great timing.
Right over the ball.
Another missed return by Anthony. Pretty much they're just trying to avoid Mick's forehand.
Smart move.
Ooh. Or Evans' forehand.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh, he missed it wide.
Wow.
All right. Here we come in the tiebreaker. And I think always the most important thing in the tiebreaker is the serve. You know, you got to try and win your service points. The serve is so important. You can't fault. You have to get into the point. It will be interesting to see
how many free points are
given. Points. Serve return. Keep it, get into the point or not. All right, there was a giveaway there on the first point. Wasn't a difficult serve, and Evan, got a little bit overzealous and maybe shouldn't have hit it so hard. But we'll see, because Mick's got obviously serving now, and we'll see if Anthony can keep the lead here. You know, Anthony, don't miss on your forehand.
1-0.
All right, well, Dan, what do you think? Do you think Dan?
Oh, Dan's going for it for sure.
Dan's going for it. It's just a question of Mick hits it soft or hard. If he's soft, you got to step in.
Yep.
He hit
Dan's
it
feeling
soft.
the backhand right now. When you start getting the one leg up on the swing, you know you're feeling it.
Yeah. Well, it really plays. The mix serve really plays into Dan's backhand, right?
Yeah. It's so tough as a lefty to hit a serve that they can't attack on the outside.
No, especially if a guy's hitting the backhand. I mean,
Yeah.
if the guy's hitting the forehand, it's a different story. Maybe you can get it down the middle. But if he's looking for the backhand, you can't get it over to the side if you're a lefty.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Oh, they got the switch.
Play on.
I was wondering if that was going to happen.
It was very casual.
It was.
Trouble. Missed it wide. He missed it wide, didn't he? That's unfortunate.
2-1 Urdoya Zimmer.
That's unfortunate. You know, you have the advantage and you go to losing the point from the advantage. All right, here we go. Here comes a gigantic return. See if Dan can cut it off. Oh, that wasn't even the tape, unfortunately.
3-1 Urdoya Zimmer.
So last game when Anthony served, he faulted twice. They still won the game.
Yeah, but you don't.
But this is a penalty in the tiebreaker. There's a much bigger penalty.
All right, way to stay in the point, Anthony.
4-1 Urdoya Zimmer.
All right, they're going to have to fight it back here.
Go, Danny boy. Come on, Carson!
Still a great crowd here. Oh, that was a short serve. But you know, get it in. Get it in. Mick's very patient over there. You think he might run around it and look for a forehand to end it. He's got such a strong forehand. He's very patient.
And I also think that's partially due to the fact that he has a lot of confidence in Evan Zimmer.
Yep.
That he's going to keep a lot of balls in play and allow him to get involved at some point.
Yeah.
That's a great dig.
Point's never over with Mick in his corner.
You go.
That's tough. That's tough.
5-1 Urdoya Zimmer.
Especially on that ball because Zimmer hasn't been hurting him.
No, and he got a little impatient. He
Right,
tried to do
why-
something special with it.
On a ball that was questionable.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough playing this game, and it's so exacting. You know, he made up for it a little bit. You know what? Points are more valuable for them at this point, but that was a nice backhand. But now you're going to have to get this return back. Nice.
Hit. 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 Hit it.
Way to pick up the nick. Throw it wide. We got it on the line. Called it wide. Up. So this is Mick complaining about a ball that was that he's.
Oh, replay.
I do not think they're going to replay this.
I don't think that's how it works.
You can't hear what the umpire is saying.
I think what they're saying is that people in the crowd saw the ball out, which unfortunately doesn't take the place of the chair umpire.
But here's the situation. It's the chair umpire's call at this point. They called it out, and if it hit the line, it's good. That's the simple rule. I don't know what they're doing. And you know what? It's just a question right here of whether Mick and Evan can browbeat the umpire.
I had the ball in.
Replay the play!
That's my job. If you question me, they're going to do it. What do you guys do?
The umpire makes the call. The call is final. Apparently, that's not necessarily the case today.
Oh, wow, they're replaying it.
They're playing a let. It shouldn't have been a tough call. It was a lob.
Serving 5.
Oh, the cut overhead from the baseline.
Well, the decision of this, whatever happens at this point, will determine whether whether bullying is good.
Go!
Or bullying wins.
All right,
it was good.
5-3, yeah.
5-3, Virgilio Zimmer. Zim.
John and Chris, we just want to remind everyone that the finals are coming up after this conclusion of this match.
Holy shoot, I forgot.
We still have one more to go. It's going to be a late night New
good
Jersey
play.
paddle.
Good, great get by Anthony.
Hit it. Hit it.
Mick with a little stare down at the crowd.
Yes, not the first one.
And we now have a handful of
Hang on, let's see how
match
long
points.
how long this changeover takes.
No, and the tiebreaker play will be continuous.
Out. Oh,
Saved it.
saved it. This could be a long point.
Hit it.
All right, guys, there we have it.
Thank you. So we've got 6-4, 7-6, 7-3 in the tiebreaker for Mick and Evan. Chris, thanks for joining us in the box.
Thanks so much, John. Thanks
Good
so
luck.
much.
Good luck in the finals.
Appreciate it.
We'll sign off for a little bit.
When choosing a luxury vehicle, nothing compares to a Mercedes-Benz. The same can be said when choosing the right dealership, and Mercedes-Benz of Paramus is without equal. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff are committed to providing you with the best experience possible. They have an extensive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with customized lease and finance options just right for you. You'll know you've come to the right place the moment you walk into the dealership. Mercedes-Benz of Paramus.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. TPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.
Rob's here, that's why. Good play, buddy.
You came over the clear one, you're going out in the dark one?
I have to because Jesus Christ, dude. No. Players only, sorry. That way.
Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2.
Go that way.
Burger's paying the check.
Drop anything in the court.
Burger's paying the check.
Don't spell that. Don't spell that. Can you imagine that?
Sorry, it's like 15, 20 minutes. All right.
Crazier thing.
You guys, you don't have to rush. These guys want to shower and just get going. Ev,
I mean, if you're going, I mean.
ready? We'll go up.
I'm heading there anyway. Come on. Yeah. I know it is. Wait.
No blanket, Mike?
I didn't bring one. I didn't think it was that cold. If you have something to sit on, that'll definitely be helpful.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a blanket. You can take your clipboard back. Can I take this?
Yeah, for a bit, yeah.
Are you okay if I take the clipboard?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, totally fine. You have sheets, or you just want to
Leave it back. Oh, I did. Go get some more. Whew.
I'm glad to know that I have that one. I thought it was this one. You're in? Everyone will immediately be. I can be sure of this one.
You want some bangers on while you're out here?
How we doing?
looking good. Tell you what. That's a superstar. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Maybe she should start fixing. And shiny for not cutting it this first.
Was that?
That would have been fucking How was that? Is that all right?
Come on, Mikey, back to back. What the crowd wanted right here. Best of 5? What the crowd wanted. Fun to watch. Have a great match, buddy.
Here. Dragger jump on the outside. Come. Go there. You getting in one? Rocks.
Sorry.
Best of luck, guys. It's fine. But I don't want to be the only guy.
No, you shouldn't be in there. If I'm not in there, you shouldn't be there.
Hello? Yeah. All right, we're about 10 minutes away from the finals. This is John Lubau from Fairmont Country Club in Chatham, New Jersey. Flying solo, I feel like Sandra Bullock in that movie. They have to keep telling you that that's what they're doing because they don't know if you can hear them or not, nor whether you care. So hopefully what's happening is everybody that's been watching from all over the world, like Martin and Flor from Flor and some island in Brazil where Flor is from, or whether you're traveling around or you just you couldn't get out here tonight and it's a very special night, or especially for the people that were here tonight that are now deciding to go home and cozy up to their close favorites, and then somehow either on their phone or a laptop watch paddle well into the evening because it's already 9:10. So you figure these guys aren't starting till 9:25. So we're going to be here till like 11:30. Longer if it's
That's very impressive. I would not
3 sets, and that's a possibility because I do see this as a very tight match. But we are seeing these guys start to warm up, so stay tuned for the finals of the 2023 New Jersey League Classic.
You know what? Is this the medal? My balls wouldn't reach. I should do that.
Just be careful standing up, please.
Biggie, do your thing up there, buddy.
How many balls do you have? 4 warm ones? Okay.
Cage is locked. I got it right there. Greg, is this yours? Greggy. Gregor. Oh! Yes! Point penalty. You're going to Navigate next year.
Point penalty.
Gregor, is this yours?
Put this song
Your
on.
first round next year is a Navigate.
Put this song on before we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 Men's League Classic. 23! This is the men's finals match. I'd like to thank the New Jersey NPPTA, Rob Scamoni and the team. Outstanding job this year once again. On my left,
Yes.
playing out of Short Hills, New Jersey, Mike I am a quiet man and I let my game do the talking. Stulak!
This is classic G-Rob.
Short Hills, New Jersey, Chris Football Friday Humphreys.
What did he call him?
Chris Football Friday Humphreys.
Right. Playing out of Montclair, New Jersey, Evan, the redheaded stepchild Zimmer.
I think that's worse than
Playing partner, also out of Montclair, New Jersey, Mick. I might have lost my weight, but my ass still looks great. There we go, boys.
I really don't know what to say after that. That is an
There
intro.
really is nothing that can follow that up.
How about play ball? Play ball? Is that what we got?
All right, make it door to serve here.
Club 15.
Rare McFault. You can get that at your local McDonald's.
Go ahead.
Starting out with a very quiet, subdued crowd.
Got a hit?
Wow, great two-hander by Mike, and Stulak's going to blitz, and he's going to make it, and sometimes he's not. That was a pretty risky one. It might not have been the perfect time for that. Good return.
Down. 40, 30.
So it's interesting they're letting Chris return and see if he can rip a backhand, and then they're switching, and they're putting Chris over in the deuce score, which is I guess that's wherever you return from. You can, if you can just keep the point going, you can switch and do whatever you want to do and whatever you're doing best after that. So just because you return on the deuce to the ad side doesn't mean you have to finish the point on that side, and as we're talking about that, a great play by Stulak. We welcome Blake Anderson into the booth. It is a booth, and welcome.
Good evening, Joe. How's the night going?
It's going quite well. I think we've got a really fun final right here, because I don't really. A lot of people were asking me what I think. I didn't tell them anything, and half said one, half said the other. So I think this is great, don't you?
I do. I think this is a matchup that a lot of people circled on their draw sheets. Glad we could have it here at Fairmont. We've got a great crowd here tonight too. Always in for a nice, vibrant crowd.
Wow, you sound so professional, Blake. Do you work here?
I do. I'm very fortunate to work here.
And what would you say? What is your role at this lovely, fantastic place that we call Fairmont?
Partytown USA. I'm the director of rackets. This is again, this is our second year hosting this, and we're thrilled to have everybody. I'm not sure if shout outs were made, but again, a big shout out to the Fairmont staff putting on an A+ show here.
That is great. We're going to do a mention for them. The Fairmont staff has done great. Blake and all the board members have put a lot of work in, and And this is our second year in a row hosting, at least, is it 2 or 3 years in a row?
This is
here?
the second year.
Second year hosting the semis and finals. It's a great venue. And we're just happy we can keep working it out. And I'm hoping that I can forever somehow make it past the shuttle parking lot, because it's really nice to park in this parking lot.
Now we can make that happen.
Okay.
Third year's a charm, John.
All right, here we go. Felt like Mick controlled that point, didn't it?
And that was the first cut overhead we saw Mick hit all night.
Good for Mick. Anything that's speeding this thing up is going to be good for everybody. It's just more fun to watch these guys use their
John,
skills.
you are a big fan of the put-away volley.
The put away anything. Because these points are too long in general, because it's usually the same shot like 7 times until somebody hits a bad one. Like that.
So here's a question for you, John. You were mentioning before the switching the backcourt, I heard, as I came on.
Yes.
And how important do you think it is in today's game? I have my personal opinions on it, and I'm glad you brought it up while I got here.
Switching in the backcourt. I haven't really thought about it that much because I don't do it that much. I usually just play my corner. But I see that if you're not achieving your goals in a match and you think you might get a little bit of an advantage just kind of mixing it up a little bit, why wouldn't you do it? What do you think?
So I agree. I was courtside for a lot of the Erdoya Zimmer Cosmano Wright match, and I thought that the first set kind of got away a little bit from Cosmano Wright as they were in the backcourt. They didn't have a lot of offense, but the switch on the backcourt definitely was a good move.
I mean, it kept him in it. They Anthony hit a bunch of good shots. It opened up Dan's backhand. You know, it's weird because they are lefty righty, but they don't play like lefty righty.
Right. And, well, I think you also see a lot of teams, as you can see Humphreys and Stulak here, they're returning from their side. And then, you know, obviously Chris probably wants to get over to the deuce side to cover mix overheads. But,
exactly.
I think you see that a lot.
He probably wouldn't be doing it if they were playing 2 righties, right?
Totally agree.
And who was the finals last year?
The finals last year, Humphreys, Stulak, Drew Broderick, Pat Shallcross, which was another good one. You know, Dan Wright was in the semifinals again. I think, you know, Dan's knocking on the door. He's going to get there. So I hope he, you know, again, I hope he continues to push for this elite title in the paddle world.
Listen, just getting here is pretty big. Oh, that's a nice
nasty.
shot. Yeah, well,
that's what the crowd came to see.
It was set up. It was set up, but and that's what you try and do is do whatever you can to gain the advantage in a point to be able to try and hit one of those easy winners that excites the crowd, right, Blake?
Evan, I'll tell you this too. Evan Zimmer's a tough guy out there. He can play a role, but he can also play a lot of offense. And that's not easy playing against, you know, guys like Chris Humphreys and Mick Erdoya for anybody.
Yeah, I can't tell. Is he just a civilian or does he teach the game?
So from what I got, so I have actually played Evan Zimmer a handful of times. I was under 12 years old, though.
Seriously?
I've never played him post 12 years old.
He does not teach.
Junior nationals. He does not teach, I know that.
Did he pick you up?
No, but he beat me most of the times. He and his junior national partner, John Hartman.
Oh, I did not know.
Was not very successful against him, but I know him well.
Where did he grow up?
You know what? I think it was the Montclair area.
Montclair Golf Club.
Oh, no way. You know what?
They were a tough team.
And what do you think about the ginger versus the redhead call? Are they derogatory, not derogatory?
I think it's
overrated.
I think
Are
it's
you
great.
a ginger?
No, I'm not.
A little bit?
My brher is. Just ask him.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, but look, we got a big crowd here.
Yes.
We're gonna have a nice big after party after this too, no matter what.
After party?
After party. We're gonna
This
celebrate
is the
everybody.
Is it in the hotel lobby?
No, it's in the Fairmont lobby.
All right, back to the play. Great return by Mick. Yes, Stulak's going to have a tough time. I had a tough time serving against Mick, and Mike lays it in like I do, especially to the deuce side. He's going to have a tough time, and he probably should stay back. I think we'll probably see that a little bit serving against Mick.
What do you think Mick is? If you could, rate players in the country, where do you think he stands?
I mean,
I
I haven't
played a lot this year.
Listen, he hasn't played a lot. Mick gets everything. He just doesn't make mistakes, and that's it. If you don't make mistakes, it's tough to lose. And he's also got a monster forehand, and at this point in the game, he has one of the best serves in the game.
I have Mick in a very high regard on the paddle court. He's an extremely good player.
All right, but let's concentrate on Stulak.
Also very high regard, one of my ex-partners.
All right. Let's see if they can get work their way back into this.
By the way, let's talk about Evan taking a couple of these Mick forehands.
We talked about that earlier.
The semifinal match, and by the way, it worked a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure that should be the game plan as we go through the night.
I almost sent John out with name tags, introducing the Mick Ardoya.
Oh, good for Evan.
Gets everything.
Gets everything.
And the get on the previous drop shot could force Humphreys to go for a little bit more, causing the error.
The great mind of Dave Broderick.
Well, he just knew. He just needed to get over the net. That was it. You know what? You're not thinking about. Every now and then you think about hitting it a little bit more conservative or not, but whatever. All right then. Not a good effort, or maybe it hit a nick, or I don't know. Took a bad bounce.
By the way, thank you both for doing this too.
Oh.
Commentating, obviously, not everybody's forte. You guys do a great job with this, so thank you for helping us out for this tournament.
Well, thank you, Blake. It's fun. It's fun. Once a year, it's fun. Oh. This is a great match. This is fun to do.
And to your point earlier about what people thought, who was going to win, who's favored, I think this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, let's not get
too
too excited. The first two will be really good. And we got G-Rob in the box.
He does add some flavor. Was
You
that
could
just a
say that
one-handed
again.
topspin backhand?
That is called the Estonian Special.
Yes, it is special. And yes, G-Rob, he did tell me that, I asked him if he lived for this. He said, it's a little cold. I said, if it was 5 degrees warmer, do you live for this? Read. And he lives. He's such a supporter of the game. He's one of the best umpires that I've ever seen. I don't remember him ever mixing up the score. He's very loud, and he just takes it over. And he's great for the game. You guys agree?
I do. He's passionate about it. He loves doing it.
Oh.
And he does it well.
Yes.
That he does.
That was a great little sneaky move by Stulak. Kind of scared Mick, and Mick missed it at the net. And Mick can get a little bit frazzled, and it'll be interesting to see if they can continue to do that.
This match, like many battle matches, no matter the level, obviously the momentum swings will be big, but you're going to find either team with a lead like this, 2-game lead, 3-1 or 4-2, and it's that next game is way more important than you think. It's
No, the
so
leads
it'll
aren't
be
that big.
interesting.
They're like a point here and there.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, you had Mick and Evan were up 5-2 in the first set, and then almost went deeper.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
Might have been.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great move.
volley.
Great move. Great move. Stulak, I don't
We're seeing
think
a
it
lot
was
of
wise.
offense
I don't
out of
think
him.
it was a good move there.
Have you guys also talked about these are the last 2 champions of the League Classic?
Yes. Well, we haven't talked about it, but I thought about it. Yeah, because
Chris and Mike.
Well, Mick didn't play last year.
Mick didn't play
Chris and
last year.
Mike winning last year, but then Mick and Evan winning at Montclair the year before. So.
Against Dan Wright and
Matt
Matt
Puig.
Puig.
and Matt Puig. Who was the other finals last year?
Drew Broderick, Pat Shawcross.
Oh, that's right. Have you said that already?
I did.
Just want to make sure everyone's listening out there.
And you know, we did mention when you weren't around, Blake, how many lefties are in the managed to make it into deep into these tournaments in New Jersey.
How many of the top 8 seeds in this tournament had lefty-righty teams?
7.
I don't even know.
7.
Who was the not?
The
Wait,
one
somebody
team
go.
that was righty-righty didn't make it far.
Oh,
We'll leave
all
it
right.
at that.
Well, how many? Well, more importantly, how many lefty teams made it to the quarterfinals?
Oh, no, then it may have been more. Because Ben and Pryor made it to the quarters.
They did make it to the quarters.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Mr. Pat Shawcross had an injury to his calf muscle, and
He did.
and that short-circuited Drew.
That allowed
The
Bibby.
lefty.
That allowed Bibby and Glenn,
2 righties.
2 righties.
How
Yeah,
did they do?
they made it to Monday Night Magic.
You know what? That's right, and that's a lot more than a lot of people can say. It's a tricky thing to do. I was very fortunate to make it to Monday night once with somebody who I hold very near and dear to my heart.
I'm trying to think about who that would have been. What club were you playing at?
I was playing out of the Short Hills Club. We
Oh.
made the finals. We almost broke through.
Really? Who was that?
Little short. The legend, Diamond Dave.
If I didn't hit 3 bad overheads that I still think about, we could have won that match.
Who'd you guys lose to? Kasi Holler?
Victor
Lucas
Vidal,
Green.
Lucas Green.
Oh, when they were on their 2-game winning streak?
2-year winning streak. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't think I was at that one. I was at the one where they beat Drew, right? The other one they beat Drew, after with an incredible 3rd set
I think that sounds right.
at Essex Fells.
We had another chance to make the semifinals, but we had an unfair advantage.
What was that?
We played the quarterfinals in 2-degree weather when it should have played another night, but we won't look backwards. We'll look forward.
No.
Okay. All right. So what we got going? Oh wow. Nick's just devastating.
Mick looks a little bit more active in this one.
I mean,
I think he wants this more than a lot of people out there.
Well, no, Mick's not playing. You know, Mick has played. He's played a bunch of national tournaments over the last couple of years, right? And he's not playing the national tournaments this year. So maybe this is Mick's Wimbledon. What do you think?
This could be.
And it's good for business, don't you think?
There are quite a few Montclair members here watching Evan and Mick. So yes, absolutely.
Typical as the New Jersey people are, there's a lot of people hanging out to watch this exciting match as it gets late into the evening.
That's an uncharacteristic miss there.
Yeah.
It's interesting too. Chris Humphrey's obviously one of the better players in the country. Mick, you know, the one big difference is that heavy forehand down the middle. Something Mick has, something Chris doesn't have as much of. Definitely a difference maker tonight.
It is, you know. And with the lefty-righty combo, it's tough to take over the game. You have to switch. You have to switch.
Do you think these guys will switch return-wise?
They're looking to switch it.
If this set goes, just to change things up?
I don't know. It's a tough call because Stulak's not as good a returner from the back end. Agree? And make it. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they'll keep it the
I
same
was just
way.
curious. You're always looking for adjustments in the sport.
I don't. Well, what do you think?
I think they should consider it.
It's almost like a panic.
Is it okay to panic if you lose?
Totally, it's okay to
I was
panic.
gonna
I was
say,
like,
Blake's
come on, I'm
point,
ready.
yeah.
I'm panicking right now. I have to spend my time with such illustrious people. Oh, on the line. Good volley.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Just
no,
missed.
Stulak just missed it long. Stulak's all in on those things. Look, it looks like I'll tell you, it's really fun watching the serve return situation with Chris and Mick, because again, I think those two have two of the best serves in the game.
What a
the
get.
most effective. Not just the New Jersey game. Kind of a soft overhead. A little bit of soft overhead by Mick.
But even you watch that last play, I think Zimmer, when he's at the net, he's got to understand that when they're going to drive it, when Humphries is driving it, he's coming at him.
Yeah, well, I still think he's set him up. Oh. Forced, a little bit forced. We're going to have to see how many times Stulak forces the return. I don't think it's getting them.
We have set point number one here.
Yes, but don't you agree that that Stulak, by forcing that return, is going to, I mean, he's not making it enough to make it worthwhile. That's a great little cutter by Humphries, and here we go.
On set point. So we're Doya Zimmer taking the first set, 6-1 over Humphries and Stulak.
And we're going to bring into the box. Dave, would you like to say a couple of words? We've got tournament director Rob Scanoni.
NJMPTA president.
And NJMPTA president Rob Scanoni, who has, I think he ended up getting picked up at 6:45 on Saturday morning. And when I left Short Hills Club, 6:15, sorry, arrived at 6:45. And when I left Short Hills Club around 9 o'clock, he was still diligently at work in front of the laptop. He's put a tremendous amount of work. This has been a fantastically run and held, and I think it's the biggest tournament in the world. So we're happy to have Rob. How's it going tonight?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for that, John. Announcing is not my forte. Sitting behind a computer on a spreadsheet is my forte. But I'm so happy. This is a great night. I'm happy that the 3 inches of rain we had happened right in between the events taking place, and we have a beautiful night here at Fairmont. Just want to thank you guys for commentating. I've heard you guys are doing a great job. I can't wait to listen to it later. I just want to thank our board for all the support they do and all the work they do to make sure this event is run as well as it is done. Thanks, Alice, for the Fairmont. Just a great stuff. So that's enough of thanking people. Let's have some fun and watch some great paddle tonight. Can I ask a question to you guys? You guys have been around a lot longer than I have in the nicest possible way. I mean that. Is this the best final we've had? The 4 best players we've had in the finals in League Classic? Correct me if I'm wrong. We were talking outside about that. I know, John, you won this. You and Steve won this years ago. But to me, this is some of the best talent out there I can remember.
I can't remember a close, like an undecided. I am surprised that the first set went 6-1.
Shocked.
But I mean, this is from a quality standpoint, it's a pretty special thing. Unfortunately, the doesn't seem as close as it should be at this point.
But we're only one set in.
Yeah.
They still have to win another
right,
set.
But any second, things can go spiral. I mean, I'm just saying, things can go down, big time, and they have to know to make the changes or play better, or they're just not as good.
And right away, we see Humphries and Stulak win a game at Love.
Great.
To start the second set.
Yep. Keep it going.
John, if you're playing that, if you're Chris and Mike out there, what changes would you make?
Well, they have.
They have
They
changed.
have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have made it. They talked about it, but
You
know
would have
what?
made that change? You wouldn't have put Chris on the forehand side?
Well, I don't even understand the whole situation. But I mean, I guess they weren't committed to it that much in the first place, and the results were clearly clear. And Dave, Dave was right, I was wrong. Dave, why don't you talk about why you were right as opposed to me explaining why I'm wrong?
Well, I just think by making this switch, you're putting Chris back over there on the forehand side. For the Zimmer-Odoya team, they're going to want Mick hitting more balls. And when Chris was returning from the backhand side, sometimes he was getting stuck over there, where I think now you can match up, Mick against Chris, and, as good as Mick is, we're going to start to see Chris getting a lot more touches of the ball, and he can control the points more than he was in the first set.
Yeah, I love the fact that Mick has now he's kind of
just
forced
needs
to go up to
touches,
Chris.
right? Mick has to hit the ball to Chris if he wants to try to be effective, because from going straight on with Mike, he can't really do as much damage as he can as a lefty to the deuce side.
Wow, you guys know so much about the game and I know so little.
John, I just hang out with a lot of good people with a lot of good information. I've been lucky.
I stay at like Holiday Inn Express. I have no idea. Nice 200 by Chris. He's what he's looking for. You're right, and you're totally right.
He's just getting more touches of the ball now,
I think.
Yeah, but I always think about if you're just the average club player and you lose a set 6-1, what do we do? What do we do? And I never know what to do. But I was just curious from you guys, or real experience, what changes should the regular club player look to make after losing a set like that?
I think this is going to come out sounding simple and maybe not really that, earth-shattering. But the one thing is, they've got to try to keep more balls in play. Make the other team hit more balls. If you made them hit 5 balls a point in the first set, make them hit 10 balls in the second, because you know what? Those extra 5 balls every point is going to allow them to maybe miss more balls. And it sounds simple, but a lot of times that is a big difference.
I guess. I mean, maybe just play better. I mean, you're right. Everybody's like, if you lose a set, just like, okay, I'm just going to, we'll keep him out there for
tighten it
hours.
up. We have to kind of tighten things up, not lob every ball, but you just got to hit your shots, and you got to maybe dial it back a little bit, aim more for the middle of the court, go for higher percentage shots, and just let the other team, prove or let them beat you, let them win the match, but don't give it away.
Or just play better.
Oh, it's John Lubauer. Just play better.
Play better.
It's that easy. If we had talent like yours, John, it would be. That's easy to say.
I was going to say, if every pro shop in America had Get Better in a bottle, they would sell it. You'd have it in between sets.
Is that a pro joke?
No, it's just, get better in the bottle.
If I could get the John Lubauer drop shot in the bottle, let me know where I can buy that, Dave.
Wait, you used to have a pro shop, didn't you, John?
I did. No, I did.
Oh, yes. You would have had more merchandise.
Oh,
You would have gotten that extra hoodie if you had a pro shop.
I would never want to. I just want to make a comment. I would never want to disparage any players because they're so good. But I've watched Chris a lot this year on the live stream, and he seems to be missing a lot of shots tonight. Is that just?
He's missing more two hands than he has in the past.
Yeah,
he missed
some
2
couple volleys
in the last couple of games. But you know what? He's feeling a little bit of pressure. And,
right, and especially after the first set, I think he may feel like he's got to do a little bit more.
See, Mike just missed a bad two-hander. He's done that before, but very important here to see these guys hang on. That's just a crush return.
Just being outside for a while tonight, there's a lot of good energy out there, a lot of people there. I'm so happy for Mick and Evan the way they came back so quickly after their first match. Selfishly, I want to, as a tournament director, whatever you want to call what I do, I felt like if the crowd would have left, that they took their hour break. So happy they came back in 15 minutes.
Oh, good
did.
for them. You
so
know
really
what?
good. I just want to call them out and just thank them for coming back so quickly. They showered
Feeling
quickly.
the crowd,
they
felt
came right up.
they felt the crowd. Looked like that was wide.
Yeah, that was wide. Yeah.
They-
So
they
just
felt
thanks
it.
to Evan.
Good. Well,
and
good
Nick for coming out
good
so
for these
quickly.
guys.
Really
yeah,
appreciate
they
it.
played a long match, but you know what?
That was a great
It's only
first
2
match.
matches, so we don't want to
Yeah,
go.
you're right.
nuts. It's not like they had their 5th match of the day, the way in the old days.
John, I'm trying to give a compliment here. I
I
know
know,
you're not
no,
used to
no.
that. I know.
No, I love to speak nicely of them, but we don't have to go overboard. They're not like heroes. It's like they just stormed a field somewhere.
Oh, Jesus.
But this is very high quality paddle.
And Rob, as we talked about earlier today, this is probably in platform tennis across America one of the greatest nights. Whether you want to call it Magic Monday, Monday Madness, whatever,
Magic Monday.
whatever we can come up with, this truly is a special night. And you know, again, we talk about when we've made these switches, and we just keep continuing to make this event better. I've been on the board for a long time.
Yep.
So
Great
you know
job.
what?
Thank you.
I saw the first year where we got up to 128 teams, and now we're at 160, and everything's modernized and computerized, and it's we're advancing it every year. And I think even for the people that are here watching or watching on live stream, we do take suggestions to always look to make this event better, because we want it to be the premier event.
Yeah, as I said to someone yesterday, we're just a bunch of knuckleheads trying not to screw something up that's been great, greatly put together by Dave, Jimmy Irwin. You always got to shout out to Jimmy Irwin for the great job he did. I took it over a couple of years ago. Took it over is a strong word. And just trying to make it better every year. We sat down yesterday, wrote some notes up, what happened well on Saturday, what we need to do better. We're just trying to make this the best event in the country.
And I think
we have a great support by our fans. We have look at the players on this court. We can't screw this up. It's all about just making sure we have great weather like we did this weekend. 160 teams, 20 teams still on the wait list. There's nothing like it. But always listen to ideas how we can make it better. As I said to someone the other day, the paddle is important, but it's all about the party that goes around it. So we had all day Saturday. We had all the backdraw. We don't play any backdraw matches on Saturday afternoon. We want everyone to hang around Short Hills. So we had a great day yesterday. We had about 30 teams playing yesterday in the backdraw. So it was a fun day. Bloody Mary bar going. Great job by Short Hills Club again on yesterday morning. And started at 6 o'clock tonight. And we're going to go for a while here, I think.
And Rob, I think one of the things, for people to understand out there, is when we talk about making it better, I don't think the actual running of the event needs to be better. We're just always trying to make it a better experience for the participants and the members of the New Jersey paddle community to come out, because everyone's welcome to come and watch and cheer for their favorite players. So, when we talk about making it better, it's just for everyone, not just the players in general.
Yeah, actually my last thought is about the players. It's about the spectators. I want the spectators to have a big party. Here we are, Christmas. Great job. Here we are, Christmas week. Let's start it all off right. And it's all about having big parties. It's such a great community here that we have. And end of season party of our league, getting everyone together, having a great time is so important. Wow.
They lead the second set.
See an unlucky break there for Humphreys and Stulak with a Lecord winner on the return from Zimmer. Game point gives them a 2-1 lead.
I like that our sponsors are here on the board. I can see that now for the first time. I really appreciate. I don't know if you guys have mentioned before, so I'm going to repeat this, but PPAC Private's been our lead sponsor since a number of years. John Babcock runs that group there. He's been a huge supporter of paddle. Does a lot of Drew stuff. He does our stuff. Longtime player. It was the first guy I ever saw hit a lefty serve, and I had no idea what he was doing. It was just an amazing serve. Great to see one of my good friends and buddies supporting this league. Xenon, they're doing such great work.
Noah flew out from Chicago.
Noah flew out to Chicago today. It's great to talk to him, trying to straighten him out on all the subtleties of the League Classic, because when they talk about it in their podcast, they always get it wrong. But Paramus and Mercedes Paramus has been a great sponsor also. So I'm going to leave you guys.
And for this year's event, we added Michael Elms Realty.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Michael Elms Realty has been a great sponsor also, so I appreciate that. I'm going to leave you guys. I probably screwed up enough. Happy to have you guys do this. Great job. Thank you very much.
Rob, thank you. In another year, great job, and we look forward to getting better and better every year.
Thanks for your help, Dave. Johnny, thanks, buddy.
You got it, man. All right, we're going to have Drew Broderick come in here as we come to try and pick up what's going on in this match. And it's 2-1, second set. Got Stulak. Humphreys team's kind of scrambling. What do you think, Dave? Do you think they've got it in them to make this a match or what?
I do, but the last couple games I've watched them press a little bit, and I don't think that's the way they're going to get back in this game. I think they have to sort of steady the ship, take their time, and wait for some opportunities. I thought Zimmer and Odoya made a couple of mistakes early on to give some free points, but now it seems like Chris and Mike are forcing the issue a little bit. I'd like to see them just, be a little bit more patient, hit a few more balls in play, and kind of, get their bearings and steady the ship.
Drew, what do you think, buddy? And
What's
welcome Drew Broderick.
What's going on, guys?
The king of I've got the king and the king of Bayonne here with me.
You almost said the king and the queen of Bayonne.
I did not almost say that.
John would never say that about you, Dave.
Okay, you can exactly.
Now, happy to be here with you guys. I've been outside watching all the semifinals and first set of this match. I'll tell you what, the number one thing that I get from the entire night is Mick and Evan actually had a very close second set match, which I think carried over mentally, physically into the second match. Mike and Chris,
or a bad way?
In a good way. Mike and Chris had a quicker match
because they came in dialed in. They were dialed up.
They had a bigger layover, and Mick and Evan, I think, are a little bit more just on the same page as far as like what their roles are, right? I mean, Mike's an amazing player, two-time national champion. Chris Humphreys right now, one of the hottest players on the tour. But at the end of the day, Mick Odoya is arguably the best player in the game, and Evan Zimmer is a very solid paddle player and knows his role out there. So this is I was excited to watch this match. I really didn't know who was going to win.
Are you taking age? Are you taking the age? Are you taking the ginger over the aged man? You think that's the difference? I think it is.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I think Mick is the top player on the court.
Yeah, but
I
he's
would never
only
bet against.
Marginally better than Chris, because Chris, they both have incredible serves. Chris has had a good pedigree. I mean, yes, Mick, you can't.
Are you going to ask me a question and then answer it, or
both?
Got it. Okay. All right, so keep going then.
Let's get back to Zimmer and Stulak. Who's got the weapon?
And you see, that's my point. Evan Zimmer, very, very, very solid club player, has played tournaments before. Tennis player, has offense on both sides. Not huge, but has to keep you honest, right? You can't back off the net. He could rip a backhand, doesn't crush it as much as Mick hits his forehand or Chris hits his backhand.
No, but he's also less volatile, right? I mean, he doesn't make as many mistakes as Stulak does.
Yeah, I mean, but again, Mike Stulak will go in waves of not missing for a while.
And also winning points.
It's the momentum of the match. You know,
Good spin shot by Chris.
I think Chris and Mike need to just slow the pace down to get back into this match.
Shocking you would say something like that.
A fast-paced match. It's all Mick and Evan. I mean, earlier in the season they blew out me and Pat.
I agree.
And I felt like it was a good match, but the scores do not reflect on that. But it was a fast-paced match, and driving home, I said, you play a fast-paced match against Mick, you're going to lose. And this is a fast match, and the scores are showing it. To be honest, I think in a slow match, Chris Humphreys is one of the best players by far in the country at that now.
Absolutely. Good volley by Mike. Volley by Chris.
So I just want to there you go, we're getting the crowd involved. I just want to commend Dave, you and John on a great night tonight. I was outside watching the semis, watching the first set of the finals, and I had my AirPods in, listening while I was watching. And to be honest, that's the way to do this.
I did not know that could be done.
Yeah, it was actually really great. And in a paddle match, even though I think we were on like a 5-second delay, didn't matter because paddle points are slow.
Okay.
So it still makes sense while you're listening.
No, that's
it was
cool.
really cool.
I brought my earpods, but I'm not that fast.
The only thing is there were some people asking me questions, and I think I ignored them, but I couldn't hear them. I was listening to you guys.
Of course.
So thank you for that. And the atmosphere out there, League Classic. Anybody who has never been to a League Classic, you should come out. It's honestly the best paddle experience that I've ever had in my life. I think 2 Darien National Championships have come close to it, but this is still the best.
There you go. What a great little point we've got started here with a little transition. Non-transition, a drop shot. Oh.
15, loose.
It's a good move by Mike right there. Patton and Stulak, you know what? He doesn't normally miss that shot. It was a great move. Awesome move by Zimmer there as well.
I think, John, to your point earlier tonight, that was the forehand down the line from Mick that you were looking for.
Yes. He rarely hits it. You guys think that Mick is one of the technically best players in the game?
I stand by Mick is right now the best player in the game. Overall. Offense, defense.
Serve.
All across the board, I think Mick is the best player in the game. And I think he's proven it in the last year and a half.
Wow.
Or 2 years.
Wow, that's big words coming from Drew Broderick. Have you said that before, or are you just saying it now?
No, I've never said that before. I truly mean it, and hopefully Mick isn't listening. And I still think I'm better than him, but
yeah, you can beat him at any time.
No, listen, he's very solid. He's locked in, but he gets it both offense and defense. You know.
All right.
I mean, listen, on a national level, we've all played President's Cup with him. And, you know, he was one of our big guys in Region 1 when it came down to big matches in President's Cup matches. You know, Mick.
Big play right here, by the way. Let's get back to the back of the action here. If they could break Mick's serve.
Listen, this match could change on a dime.
Right, but a lot of this match involves breaking Mick's serve.
Is this the dime right here?
Yeah, I think so. That was an unfortunate miss by Mike. What do you think Mike does on this return? It's actually a pretty.
I'm going to say he hits it hard.
Yeah, well, he did.
And I think that was a really smart play, Mike letting it go to the screen. Mike is one of the all-time best screen drivers in the game.
He's also off the serve off the deck. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, Mike's high forehand is solid.
That's a solid volley into the corner. All right, we'll see what he does with You know, you feel like this should really come into Mike's forehand and for a little like that. All right, no transition.
It's wide.
A careless error there.
Yeah, and right there, Mick doesn't need to press the issue. He can just push the ball, wait for a better overhead opportunity. That's a great serve.
John, I just received one order from our listeners out there watching and viewers. They want to order a case of Get Better in a Bottle.
Really? How are you gonna deliver that?
I'd say by UPS.
That was the hard side back, wasn't it?
Yeah, Guy Moore, hard side back with extra cheese. The problem is right now, they're giving Mick too many looks. They think they should go this way, but what they don't realize is they're fueling the fire.
You think it's just gonna get Mick feeling better about hitting the ball?
1,000,000%. Unless Chris is gonna try to cut him up in the side screen, don't go there.
That's a big forehand.
Because now you're gonna hit the ball to Evan and you're not gonna be in position.
No, they just gave Mick a big forehand.
Yeah. You see, and here's the thing. Listen, it's no offense to Evan. Evan Zimmer is an unbelievable paddle player. He's a great person. I've known him since he's a little kid. He's by far has the least credentials on this court. How is he going to respond in this match?
Here's how he responds to this match. He makes fewer errors than Stuak. That's all he has to do. If he makes fewer errors than Stuak, they will win. Do you agree?
My opinion was he just trusts that he just doesn't have to miss a ball and Mick will do everything else. Exactly. And then everything else is gravy. And he's done that year in and year out when they play together.
And he's not going for the ball.
And I've played them. And that's really all he does. And then you put a ball up there and he just smacks it because he's very talented. So, yeah, I mean, it's the perfect team. It's the perfect team in the League Classic.
They now lead the second set. 5 games.
Hey, I just want to say hello to Mimo, Pepper, and Virginia out there watching in Short Hills.
Are you starting the bus?
No, we still have a long way to go. Long way to go.
Okay. And then these guys are leaving the court too. Has somebody left the court? We need to get the time.
That's not Ray Cross still leaving, I hope.
And is he wearing? He usually wears Tennessee stuff. But he's not.
He's orange sweatpants.
Exactly.
When he's not wearing his Region 1 Snuggie.
Ooh,
Let's
remember
just,
that team? John, did you make that team or no?
Nope,
No,
I
you
did
didn't.
not. No, that was back when I couldn't make the team.
Got it. You were playing with Dyer.
I could have not have been Dyer, but he's a good player and my mentor in the game. Who's your mentor, Drew?
Chris Gambino taught me how to play paddle tennis.
I thought Ron Cummins and Mark Bliss did.
Well, Mark Bliss was my first coach.
How did you meet Chris Gambino?
Chris Gambino and I met through Dave Oehmiller, who was Chris Gambino's former partner.
How'd you know Dave Oehmiller?
Through Dave Broderick, who I happen to be related to. They played high school tennis together.
So that's it?
And I met Dave Broderick through my mom and dad.
With?
Right.
So that was it? If your brother had not, who did you know, Dave Oehmiller?
Dave Oehmiller.
If my mom and dad had not given birth to me, I would have never met him. I would have never met Chris Gambino.
You definitely would never have met him. But wait a second. So that's somewhat serendipitous because there's a possibility that if you never met Dave Oehmiller through your brother, like if your brother was like either really smart or really stupid and gone to a different school,
Right.
you might never have played paddle.
So it all comes down to St. Peter's Prep. Go Marauders.
Lubau just called us an average school. Not really smart and not dumb.
Hey, and by the way, Dave O, I'm sure you're listening right now. The Marauders have the most national championships, baby.
In what sport?
Platform tennis.
There's no such thing. I mean, there's such thing as platform.
Well, there's always such a thing,
Yeah,
Lubau.
there's not always such a thing, but there's such a thing as platform tennis, but not on the national level, not in the college level. That was a pretty wild point. I think.
Hey, it wouldn't be right as we're talking about St. Peter's Prep and the platform tennis pedigree coming out of there that we didn't mention Brad Oehmiller. We want to say hello to Big Red out
Big
there.
Red.
Member of Montclair Golf Club.
So I think the crowd's looking for a little comeback here. We got a lot of Short Hills fans here, Montclair fans, members from all clubs in the area, which is unbelievable, which is why this event is so amazing.
It's getting close to the
We're
end,
2
though.
points away from the match being over.
So by the way, earlier, whatever Rob was saying, he mentioned something about this being the best final. I think the best final was when me and Pat Kelly beat you and Steve DeRose. I think you guys were 3 in the country, and we upset you guys 6-4 in the third. I had about 7 beers during the match, and
I wore a Rangers.
John, you played probably the best I've ever seen you play, but you lost.
Nice.
But besides that, I think this might be this is probably the 3rd or 4th best I've ever seen.
Well, this is a tense game right here. It's you never know. The momentum can change so quickly in these matches.
I'll tell you what, if they win one game, it's still not over. I'll tell you,
It's all right there.
Mike Stulak's not a quitter.
Game match point number 1.
Nick is going to stay right where he is.
I'm going to say this before the match ends. These are the 2 best teams in the league this year. I think nobody questions that.
I would say Nick and Alvey.
Despite the score. Despite the score, this is what we all want to see.
No, it is good. It is good, especially when you get the pro playing with the member, because there's not that many places to have members that can play with the pros. So you just get the best members, and it's so fun for them. I mean, maybe Stulak is a special member. But there it is.
There we have it.
Great match. Congrats to Mick and Evan. Congrats to Mike and Chris. Great season.
Great season.
Drew,
Thanks
thank
a
you
lot.
for joining us.
Dave,
John,
you want to sign us out, friend?
I can sign us out. John, it's always a pleasure. It seems like this is our annual commentating date that
Yes.
we have every year.
I was going to help you with your garden, but you keep not calling me.
This could be the year I become a gardener. Now that I'm out, we might get the farm going. We want to thank everybody out there for watching. We want to thank again Alex McDonald and the entire staff, food and beverage staff at Fairmount Country Club, led by Director of Rackets Blake Anderson. We want to thank Big E, Evan from Pro Flight Live for producing and putting this together. We want to thank the sponsors, PPAC Private Wealth Management, Xenon, Mercedes and Paramus, Michael Elms Realty. We want to thank the NJMPTA and all of the members that play in the league.
Hey, while I'm here, let me just say one mention to John Babcock, who was kind of steered the ship over at PPAC, and they've done great things for the game. Been very generous with their time and their money. John is currently he was just elected to be president of Morris County Golf Club. He's a huge paddle enthusiast, and I'm sure you guys both know him. So we're just gonna give a little mention. Any other mentions that you'd like to make, Dave or Drew?
Just want to congratulate our finalists, Chris Humphreys and Mike Stulak, on a great run, and also congratulate our winners, our champions of the 2023 New Jersey Men's League Classic, Mick Adoya and Evan Zimmer.
The Z?
The Z-Man.
The Ginger Z.
Good night, guys. Thanks for a great night.
All right. Thank you all for watching out there, and until we see you next time or talk to you next time, take care.
When choosing a luxury vehicle, nothing compares to a Mercedes-Benz. The same can be said when choosing the right dealership, and Mercedes-Benz of Paramus is without equal. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff are committed to providing you with the best experience possible. They have an extensive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with customized lease and finance options just right for you. You'll know you've come to the right place the moment you walk into the dealership. Mercedes-Benz of Paramus.
Success takes hard work. Making success a legacy takes discipline. PPAC Private. Your legacy, our discipline.